Warning. The following show features reviews from wildly unprofessional critics operating without the supervision of professionals. The thoughts and opinions held by these individuals are not to be taken seriously and do not come from a place of intellectual integrity. This show doesn't reflect the opinions of Criticless or its users. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? I am getting an echo in my ear because we have started using earbuds. We are the most professional show on YouTube. If anyone doesn't know, I mean, we are known for our professionalism. But anyways, what's going on, everybody? Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Criticless Cast Unhinged. And we are going to be fully unhinged today. We're going to be talking about A Working Man, the new film starring Jason Statham. It's written by Sylvester Stallone, which is just wild in itself. There was a lot of things involving this movie that really had me intrigued. But before we do all that, we're going to do the usual things, and I need to introduce the usual Spud Specs, Mr. Christopher Kaus.
Aloha.
And Mr. Matt Verlack.
Que pasa, amigos?
And I guess the next big question is, do you hear us? Can you hear us coming in? Because last week we caused a massive crap show, and we're still trying to work all that out, which is why the show is starting late. But none of that matters. You know, we're just figuring it out a day at a time, just winging life, and that's typically how the three of us do most things in general.
Yeah.
So we're figuring it out, and we kind of sort of still have it semi figured out. But hopefully you can at least hear us. And per usual, we are live for this show, so I do want to go ahead and say what's up to the chat. And I did hear that we actually had a super already come in. We got a threefer from Planet X with a super sticker. What's up, dude?
X gonna bring it to you.
Yeah, it is. And we got Caveat Ties in here, Miss Criticless, Jared Barnes, who actually just got out of the movie as well. So he's going to be able to ping back and forth. Not many people have seen this. We just got out of the theater. It was the very first showing, and it didn't seem like anybody was showing this movie before about 4 o'clock-ish. So we're really early on this train of seeing this, unless you got like an early screener or whatever, which I think some people have. I did see a review already pop up from Jeremy Johns. So some people have seen it and gotten some reviews out, but we're going to be talking about that. But actually, we got some segments that we've been running through, and we were trying to decide a proper name for our new segment that we have. And I think I actually came up with a good name. And I've decided to call this segment Culture for Boomers. So I hope y'all like that. I created that little bumper today. And I like it. It's just an old thinking man. But yes, the point of this segment is basically that we know that all of you boomers and boomerly folks, and that also includes the Gen Xers and then even the millennials like Chris that are just completely disconnected from everything happening in the world. We wanted to create a segment where we could let you know what's happening in the interwebs, the interspheres, if you will. So this is what actually caused all the problems last time, which is us trying to figure out how to present things and then also you guys be able to hear them. And so of course, per usual, I'm also still having issues sharing stuff. So
is it not working again?
It's just, StreamYard's it hates my guts. So, all right. So I think I do have it, Matt, if you want to present that. So see, the other thing is that Matt and I use TikTok. And so being that we use TikTok, we're ahead of culture because YouTube Shorts, Instagram, all of these platforms are somewhere in the ballpark of about 3 weeks to 6 months behind TikTok.
Yeah,
pretty much always. So just to kick things off, make things light and easy, I wanted to show you guys this and see if y'all think that this is a goat recipe here.
Okay.
All I've been able to think about is making the perfect hot dog.
So she wants to make the perfect hot dog
with a steak.
That's like what?
Big old.
I made my own butter the other day, and I made it in little. Look at my butters.
Oh, that's very cute butter.
Of this
That you
rest, I'm
can
gonna
just
cook up one of these. I bought gold scissors.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just buy them like this, and then I just eat them out of the bag all the
She
time.
just raw dogging
Bippity
glizzies.
boppity,
Eat some raw.
and bippity boppity boo.
All right.
Wasn't that cool? Grab your
Mhm.
bread knife, slice it right down the middle.
Yeah.
I see what's happening.
Oh yeah, this is going
It
places.
can't get much better
Well, that
than
takes me
that.
back to an ex-girlfriend.
Are you kidding? Lord, no. I should have used a bratwurst, so it would be bigger. Like this primal
That's exactly
pizza.
what it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
There you go. Organic, no sugar mustard.
No sugar.
Look at my perfect
Jesus.
hot dog.
That's what it looked like
I'd
afterwards
to
too,
eat
Chris.
it.
Mhm.
All I've been able to think about is making it perfect.
All right. So do we approve of this new recipe here? It got 1.5 million views.
Look, I mean, I like
It's a
steak,
meat sandwich.
I like wieners. What's wrong with this?
I mean, yeah, it's a meat sandwich. Would you? It's kind of a waste of the steak, though. You're covered in mustard.
True.
It's like people put A1 on steaks.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't approve of this message.
Well, you could think of it that way, but you could also think of it as an improvement over a hot dog bun. Like, why waste, caloric energy on consuming bread when you
Mhm.
get to eat all
Mhm.
steak?
I mean, I guess if you use a smaller steak, because that steak was
Sure.
too big.
Disproportionate.
And I know she did it for the video, it's just being
Right.
dramatic. Maybe if you use like a small flank steak that you could just wrap around it,
There you go.
something tender,
Well, yeah.
and really sink your teeth
But then
in.
you can't sliver it in half. But like you said, you just wrap it,
Yeah,
Like a tortilla.
and you borderline
That's
just
right.
like sear that thing on both sides. Just
exactly.
Like, bam,
Yeah, you
bam.
cook it, then you slam it in there. Boom.
Mhm. Yeah.
Smooth.
I like how Sid is accusing me of picking weird examples of what's going on the internet. So, well, you're just clearly on the wrong side of the internet, is all I have to say.
Yeah.
So-
This is the kind of TikTok side I need to be on.
Yeah. I mean,
For real.
cute girls
reminds
eating
me
meat
of
sandwiches.
reminds
you
me
know?
of Epic Food Wars
Mhm.
back in the YouTube's heydays, where they would just do the craziest concoctions of things.
Right.
Glorious.
So, all right. So this is the real thing I want to get to, which
All
leads
right.
us down a rabbit hole, which is just branding, advertising, and conspiracies as a whole.
Sure.
So now, and just so everyone knows, we weren't able to fully work out the audio, so Chris can't hear the things that we are hearing. So we will then explain to some degree.
Really
Yeah.
good imagination. Don't worry.
All right. So I'm just going to share this. We'll listen and watch, and then I'm going to pick y'all's brains. But I guess first off, have either of you heard about the new KFC debacle?
No.
Okay.
They got rid of the double dub.
No, this is wild.
I think they got rid of
What
that.
in the cannibalism did I just watch? KFC released this commercial, and it's probably the weirdest, maybe the most disturbing commercial I have ever seen. This commercial starts with this dude walking around the woods, and he makes eye contact with this chicken, and this is where things start to get really weird. This girl starts coming in and takes him to this cult-like ritual that's going on where they gather around, come down from the trees, and they raise him up in the air. After this, everyone just runs away, and then this massive egg comes, and it looks like they're worshiping this golden egg. You know.
All right, golden egg worship. He says, "If you know, you know." I'm all into conspiracy stuff, and I don't even think I know this one.
I mean, are we sure this is conspiracy theory, or is this literally like Jack and the Beanstalk, golden egg from the golden goose kind of thing? I mean, I'm not in the know on this, so this is an assumption on my part what
You guys
this is
don't know
about.
the golden- You guys are really out of touch with
Yeah.
culture, man.
Mhm.
Super, yeah.
I'd tell you
Yeah.
that, but stop. secret.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
taking a long time to
Okay.
explain too. So
We don't have the time.
yeah, don't you worry about it.
And then eventually the girl walks this man to the lake, which is actually gravy because the commercial is called All Hail Gravy. He grabs this man, puts him inside the gravy until he can no longer breathe. You can see the bubbles stop, so he's clearly unalived. She pulls him back up, and he's a fried piece of whatever the heck they call it, chicken.
Okay.
I mean, call it truth in plain sight. Call this just a joke. Call it clickbait. This is weird. What in
So everyone is essentially, this is all over TikTok. I've seen it on Instagram, even other places. But
Okay.
so there has been this conspiracy spreading for a while now, which is essentially that all of these fast food restaurants specifically the big ones are being targeted, and especially things like McDonald's and some of these bigger brands. But there is a claim that there is a human meat being used.
Okay.
Soylent Green, if you might. If you
Classic.
Yeah. So the question is, because they say in the conspiracy realm that anything that is happening in real life, they signal to you beforehand and they tell you what they're doing so that they can then claim like that they don't have any guilt.
Makes you more comfortable
Right,
with the
right.
idea.
Exactly.
Putting it into the space, the ether.
Yeah. And then and then you can't say like, well, hey, you didn't tell us. They're like, oh, well, we gave you a commercial where a dude's getting turned into a chicken nugget. And
I was like, that was the sign.
Don't think that would hold up in the courts.
Well, listen.
Well, we told them you were eating human. We had a commercial where he dipped a human in gravy. It was obviously cannibalism. Obviously.
So yes, that is the big theory, though, is that they are currently teasing that they are using human meat.
Honestly, I feel like this was some person in marketing that was like, look, we're gonna fuck with everybody. We're gonna make this wild commercial, and just the whole world's gonna be abuzz with it. And there's that thing where it's like, if you're talking about us, it's not bad news or bad press. So I feel like that might be the case, unless they're serving us human, and then we can get them
right.
Yeah.
Which is what they're all claiming. And the interesting thing about this conspiracy as well is that it was happening before this commercial came out. Like, I'm talking months this has been going on, and then they put this commercial out and everybody's like, holy shit.
Okay, so then they're definitely just trolling everybody with this, because there's no way they spend the money and the time on that, knowing that these rumors are floating around, which they probably heard. Maybe. And they're just like, we're gonna troll these people, because then they're gonna blow it up and be like, this is huge, everyone needs to know. It's all marketing, I think.
Or a conspiratorial person would say that that's what they want you to think.
Let's just look at the logistics here. Let's get down to the brass tacks, the numbers.
The golden eggs.
Why would it ever be cheaper to cook people rather than chickens?
Well,
people are expensive. Trust me, I know.
Try buying one recently.
I mean, also the elites are currently claiming that our population is way too high. Like Captain Meat says, the other white meat.
Other white meat. Pork already has that.
So yes, which this also leads me to the other story, or well, I say the other, not story, but the other thing I wanted to talk about. But first, I'm going to have to stop presenting this screen and present another. So, yeah, y'all can talk amongst yourselves about the conspiracy for a moment while I figure out how to do this.
I mean, so to your point, how are they sourcing this human meat? Is this a case of they find deceased people, or they feed them a lot of chicken until they're dead, and then feed us chicken-fed humans?
Right. No, that makes sense, because the flavor builds into the fat source. It's probably actually a result, just the excess of bum fights. Website, like, you know.
Oh, so the Californians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But afterwards, turn it into KFC. That's my take.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it going that way too. I mean, have you ever seen a hobo with a shotgun?
That's
the movie.
Oh.
Have you ever seen a hobo with a shotgun, Chris?
Of course. No.
Because there's a lot of bum fighting going on, and one gets a shotgun. So
that's a edge up.
Yeah.
You figured out, Blade?
Well, all right.
Technology's reading you.
So here's the deal. Not great. See, SteamYard has this weird thing where it all has to be using the same Windows. And so I'm logged in on one account, but not another. And so it's only letting me screen share from one place. And so it's not letting me share from another. Are you guys familiar with the company Duolingo?
Yes. Say Dua Lipa, but
Duolingo, yes. Yeah. So I will go ahead and at least share their Instagram page here. So essentially, there are a couple videos here. The problem is that Instagram hides a lot from you and they won't let you look at it. But so they have started this thing. Matt sent us a video recently.
Yeah.
And if you want to explain what's going on.
Just to put the background for anybody who doesn't know what Duolingo is, it is a foreign language learning app that's free. And so you can go and say, I want to learn Spanish. And this is how I use it. I was like, I want to learn Spanish. And then it like does 5 to 20 minute little sessions. And then it does like these reminders to say, hey, you haven't done your session today. Like you should jump back on. And then after a while, it's just like, you haven't done your session in 2 weeks.
Oh, they guilt trip you real hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so I think that's where we're going with this one, is that this is a whole thing. Because it's gotten really, what happened was people started noticing. They're like, this is very passive aggressive / aggressive, that they were like, and like I deleted the app after I fell off learning Spanish. And then I can say, hola, mi pantalones es muy fuego.
Yeah, so it's not working, and everyone got to see me try and log in, and it wasn't working.
We know your email.
Yeah,
So yeah, probably so.
Prepare.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome for my email. But yeah. So anyways, there's weird culty advertising. Instagram sucks balls. So I can't show you these videos. But everything's super weird where it is hyper sexualized things with this. I don't even know, this outfit of this bird thing.
Yeah, it's their mascot, which is this owl.
Right.
And so
I think his name is.
probably.
No, it's not. It's something lame.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super strange, and I don't understand it. And there, so the video I was going to show you is where their mascot is dressed up in bondage gear with like spikes and everything, and there's just like a woman moaning in the background. And
Like sexually? Or
yes, full blown sexually. It's so weird, and I just do not understand what's going on.
I don't understand either. And it's hard to just be like, this is a marketing guy, because it's not like a video. They've done a series of videos. They're culty, they're like sex themed. And I'm like, I don't understand how this is supposed to be. I mean, I guess we're talking about it. So in a marketing scheme that is working. And I definitely remember it. And it reminded me that I stopped using Duolingo because I was bad. And here we are.
Because you didn't stick with it doesn't make it bad.
No, I'm bad at it.
Oh, yeah.
But then Cayman Maniac, Dark Forest here, said he's got a 94-day streak learning Italian. So that is impressive.
Yeah, the whole thing is just really strange, and I don't get it, because it's I understand kind of this guerrilla marketing thing, and everybody's joking about how Gen Z is doing all this marketing for all these companies, and it's getting so weird and obscure. But to take these cartoony, borderline like kid-friendly creatures and be like, we're gonna do cult advertising, sex and bondage advertising, like all this stuff, it makes no sense to me.
But there's something to it. Think about like all people our age. We're watching tons of murder documentaries. I've seen like every cult documentary there is. We consume all this content. So if you're actually looking at what people are consuming and what they might be interested in, you do something like this, and it is bizarre and it is so wild, but it's freaking effective.
It's working.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's making people aware of the Duolingo name, but do people actually want to use it anymore now? That's debatable. I mean, if you like ritual sacrifice of owls, cartoon owls.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing is the owl imagery, because if you were in the conspiracy sphere, then you know that owl imagery is like a huge thing within all of that as well, and the sex cult stuff and the government and all of that.
Well, that has been their like mascot.
Oh, I know.
So that's not like a new thing, but they could have done it on purpose, like really good foresight, kind of looking in the future.
Right. Yeah, maybe. The whole thing is very strange. I don't really understand. I did actually, believe it or not, get this to work. So I can present it. This was a hell of a ride that we've gone through here. We're going to figure this out one of these days.
Nah. So, this is authentic.
Right. All right, Matt, you got it pulled up?
Man.
All right, here's the video.
Stid's comments.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Listen.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Literally sounds like a chick's getting like going to town on in the background. Yeah. Like, what is
on top of that, he's like, we're explorers into the unknown. Some call us demons, some call us angels. This is nothing about learning a different language.
look, here's the cult video. Like what?
Join the cult.
Like what kind of brand is this? Who is their marketing supervisor here?
I don't know.
I agree with.
But we're talking about it.
I guess.
So, I mean, am I missing out on something? Like, is there something that's happened? Are they referencing something? Is this some,
No, I don't think there's any kind of
thing that I'm just not in the loop
I
on?
don't think so.
Okay.
And I mean, there's a lot of these.
It's not like
What's
a
this one?
witty
Here, they
reference.
strip it off and it's in like a bikini.
Yeah.
And a DJ, like, what is happening?
I have no idea. I mean, trying to understand social media, especially. Oh, is this Instagram? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
This looks like a bunch of like dead bodies around it, and then they're popped up. They got the little owl heads on, and you know that thing's like got a kinky, freaky outfit underneath it. This whole thing.
So
is
basically, what they did is they recorded this whole scene, and now they're just chopping it up for all these different
Yeah.
videos.
And I just, it doesn't make sense with the brand.
Right.
Nothing about this makes sense. And here's the actual like app and stuff from it, where it's like, and even if you look at their early marketing, it's very kid friendly almost, and seems. But now you're just getting so weird with it. So I
Yeah.
don't understand what's happening, what our reality is anymore. But this is
I
so
don't
weird.
either.
Maybe there was like a burgeoning producer, director and producer merged together.
Yeah.
Director that like is the nephew of the owner of, Duolingo, and they're like,
Right.
I really want to make some videos. They're kind of edgy, and nobody gives me a shot. Can you do it for me, Uncle? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, make my owl moan and put on bondage and have a ritual sacrifice. Whatever you want to do. Like, maybe that's what happened here. It's just some like privileged stuff happening.
Maybe.
I couldn't even tell you.
The whole thing's so strange. I don't even understand. But I had to talk about it, and I know that there's most people that probably have not seen or encountered this, but also it's blowing up in the sphere, and it comes back to the KFC thing too, where the KFC advertising was also like culty weirdness.
True.
Like, what's up with these companies making themselves look like they're cults and like leaning into all this super provocative, weird stuff? It just seems really strange, and it honestly is giving a lot of credence to these like conspiracy theorist people.
Yeah.
Cults are on the rise, man. They're making a comeback.
Are you kidding? Cults haven't gone away. They've been around since forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
have you gone on Criticless recently? It's basically a cult.
Right. I mean, Criticless is kind of a cult. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of, if you are new to Criticless, we are not just a YouTube channel. We are an entertainment reviewing platform for talking about and reviewing movies and television shows currently, and hopefully much more in the future. So make sure to download the app. You can do that through our website as well on criticless.com. It'll take you to the app stores, Android and Apple, all that, or you can just use the website. We're in both places. We are a hub for all things entertainment. So come, make some friends, hang out, leave some reviews, all that fun stuff. And we'll be talking about the site as we kind of go along with this. But I think the next thing that we need to do, Matt, is we actually need to go ahead and talk about some news.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and run that stinger?
Yeah.
Sting me, daddy.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right. So yes, the news. Obviously, we cannot avoid the whole Avengers news. We got to talk about that first.
Gotta talk about it.
It's everywhere. We can't avoid it. I did give you guys my very surface level opinion yesterday in a text message because I was just like, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy. I think that well, first off, if you don't know what Marvel did, essentially what happened was Marvel decided that they were going to just surprise everybody with a special event that was a gajillion hours long, where you watched a silent video that then in between every transition played a tiny bit of sound and or music and showed a chair with a person's name on it from a production set. And this went on for hours and hours, and to the point in which everybody was like, fuck you, Marvel. So
Not everybody.
well, yes, not everybody.
We know somebody.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean the people that watch.
I was about to say, because could you imagine sitting there watching that? Like, I just caught the news after the fact. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool.
Right. But and I kept popping in because I was like, I might need to make a video about this. This might be big news, whatever. Mm-hmm. Every time I checked in, we were just hours and hours later. And I was just like, oh my God, I hate them. Like, this is the worst marketing decision in human history. What idiot came up with this?
It seems like a real fuck you to all the fans.
Right.
Just be like, hey, we're going to make you sit here for hours and watch and listen to this pointless video.
Right. Well, and then the icing on the cake was after the grand reveal was done, it was literally just these are the cast members that are going to be in the movie, and probably still not even everyone, but it's just all of these famous people and people that are connected to Marvel and whatever. And the big hook to the news, outside of hey, here's all the new Avengers, where like at least 75% of them, zero people give even a quarter of a shit about anymore, is that now we're bringing in all of the really old X-Men, not even like the secondary cast of X-Men, the original X-Men cast.
The Bryan Singer.
Yes, the Bryan Singer verse X-Men that have died like 100 times, and we've seen over and over and over again. I was just like, fuck you, Marvel. Like, I'm mad. Like, I'm not happy. I don't want these characters back. I do not want these actors back. I don't want this. I want new X-Men, or you can freaking screw off. Like, this is not what I personally wanted in the slightest.
Yeah. When you say new, I don't know who Bryan Singer is.
He's the guy that did the original X-Men movies.
Okay. Yeah. All right, gotcha. So not the First Class.
No, the original.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So they're coming back.
No, not First Class. The first
no,
class,
he was saying First Class.
Yeah,
I'm not saying First Class.
No. Yeah, this is the OG people.
New.
And yes. And yes. Well, and I want a whole new cast of just people playing X-Men that we like. They should have had names on this list that are famous actors potentially, or even maybe semi-unknown, that teased to us, hey, these are some people that are gonna be in this movie playing characters that like you don't even know who they're gonna be yet.
Right, and that would have been so you've said your piece.
Yeah.
Part of me, the nostalgic part of me, wants to see them again, and I'm mildly excited to see them again. I think this movie's gonna suck. Honestly, like Marvel doesn't have their shit together, and they were like, "Hey, how about we do another movie where we smash a bunch of people together?" Yeah. I don't think this movie's gonna be good.
I'm worried.
Especially bringing in all his X-Men, all his old X-Men, and everything. Well, I just I don't know how it can be.
And
good.
The icing on the cake of them bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and having him play a different character, being Dr. Doom, or potentially being Tony Stark's Dr. Doom.
Right, and he's gonna be the only one, as far as we know, that's like a same actor, a different character.
Right, as far as we know.
Right.
Yeah. And so I have the list pulled up here, which is that Chris Hemsworth is coming back. People were excited about that because we weren't sure, but like obviously he is. We've got Anthony Mackie as Captain America back again, but then basically there's the whole cast of the or a lot of the cast of, I think even all of the cast of the Guardians, or what is it?
Talking about Black Panther?
No, Thunderbolts characters. We've got Paul Rudd back as Ant-Man, those kind of characters, and Shang-Chi back. And so those characters are all in here, the people that you would kind of predict, and then some of these new folks as well. And then we've got the Fantastic Four in here. But the other big thing was just these X-Men characters, which was Rebecca Romijn Stamos as, well, I don't know if she's Stamos anymore, but she's a Mystique. And we've got James Marsden as Cyclops. They're bringing in Channing Tatum as Gambit from the Deadpool movie. Like, I guess whatever, but like I liked it. It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, no, I liked it too. I just think the problem is I don't see these characters moving forward. I feel like this is going to be a 2 movie and done.
No, I think it's a 1 movie and done. I think that honestly, which makes sense, I think that they are bringing in all of these people to kill them for the umpteenth time. I really think that that's what's happening.
I don't know. For me, I am so over superhero movies at this point, and I have been for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't seen any of the new Marvel stuff that has all been shit, apparently.
Outside of a handful of things, yeah. New Daredevil shows. Well, we'll talk about it.
Sorry. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there are a few things of the new Marvel grouping of movies, and honestly, I am excited about the Thunderbolts movie. The more and more I see, the more excited I am for it. I'm trying to hold back that excitement because we've been let down.
I shelve my excitement at the door for any of these movies right now. Like, I have no hopes, because I feel like we'll get in there and we'll be like, wait, all the cool scenes we saw in the trailer, there wasn't even that many of them.
Right.
So
yeah, this could be a massive disappointment. We're also getting Tom Hiddleston back as Loki. Like, so there's some interesting things in here, but at the same time, personally, like 75% of this casting news, like you could have just released a thing being like, hey, these people are going to be in this movie. You're right. It's like, all right, whatever. Like, this was not, I think Marvel was expecting this to be this big, awesome thing, like they continue to do, is think that something's going to be this massive success, and then it's not. And this has gone over like a freaking fart in church. Like, people By and large, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it has become right. Well, it's become a big joke because all of these people are now photoshopping the chairs that they showed in the trailer and putting other people's names on them and being like, "Look who's going to be in this one." And they're like, just all these stupid people, essentially.
Yeah.
So, Caveat Ties is saying Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
Yes, he's back.
Is he actually? Wait,
he was Beast.
He's back?
He's the original Beast, right?
He's the original Beast.
Kelsey Grammer is the guy. Isn't he the person from fucking Frasier?
Yes. Right. Yes. From Frasier. Yeah, I think so.
He was the original Beast.
I think so. Yeah, he was Beast at some point in one of the movies, which it has to be the original.
Stupid.
I think he was like.
I think I'm probably just stupid.
I'm not sure who Kelsey Grammer is.
In the original ones, he was.
Frasier.
I like how Bookstore Thor said, "Don't spoil the Marvel live stream. I haven't seen it yet." Yeah. Have fun spending all of your time the rest of the next day watching that. So yeah, this thing, I think overall it was a disappointment. Was not happy with it. Do not recommend. Definitely don't try and watch it. But it brings me to another thing, which was that an actor that's going to be in the Fantastic Four has claimed that the Fantastic Four will start a new tide of successful storytelling for Marvel, just like Guardians of the Galaxy and Black Panther, says Paul Walter. And this guy no one knows who he's playing, but he's going to be in the new Fantastic Four movie. And so obviously he's read the script, he's seen it. And he is actually even calling attention to the fact that Marvel has been struggling, which I think was an interesting thing from someone. Yeah, no kidding.
Well, he's probably going to get canned for that.
Right. He's probably going to get in trouble for even talking about Marvel, like crapping the bed lately. But he just basically said, like, let's remember that Marvel is servicing a lot of folks and they want to make a lot of entertainment for people to enjoy. And none of us are 100%. He said, none of us hit the mark every time. Not a single one of us, your favorite director, has made less than satisfactory movies. It's just facts. And he's not wrong. The problem is this is like 5 years of failure.
Right. It's one thing if it's like 2 or 3 movies and you're like, oh, it's a slump, but they continually shit the bed.
Right.
And it's not just Marvel, it's Star Wars and all. It's just everything they do. There's no way. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And whenever you don't acknowledge that, like, I feel like it's so much pride gets built into it. Like, if you can't just admit, like, oh yeah, that wasn't our best output, but it always feels like they're sticking with things to the end. Like they're the captain going down with the ship, like, this was a great movie. We made their best choices ever. And fuck you if you don't enjoy it. That kind of thing. But so I mean, I don't know who this person is, if they work with Disney.
He's going to be on Fantastic Four.
He's one of the actors.
He's an actor.
Watch, he's like janitor number 3.
Right.
He's like, this movie's
a lot of people think he's going to be Mole Man. That's the speculation, and so we'll see if he is Mole Man. But I don't know. They think he's going to be a villain in the new Fantastic Four to some degree.
Yeah.
I hope he's right, man. I hope Marvel gets their crap together. I'd love for them to be as great as they were in their heyday.
Yeah, because I miss it.
10-15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I hope so. I hope that movie Fantastic Four is great. I have high-ish hopes for it. I hope it's good, but I'm honestly more excited for Thunderbolts at this point, just because from what I've seen, I've been more excited about what they've shown. So on to the next piece of news here, which is that James Patterson and Mr. Beast are penning a thriller novel, and the TV and film rights are attracting serious heat. If this is not the most modern Hollywood bullshit I have ever heard in my fucking life, this makes me mad. Like,
I'm pretty sure this is a simulation. The more I think about our lives, this is a simulation. It's got to be. It's where we are.
Like, if you don't know, James Patterson is a famous novelist. He's been around a long time. He did the Cross novels and that sort of thing.
He's probably written like 1 trillion books.
Yeah. So he's a famous writer. But the fact, okay, listen, no hate on Mr. Beast, whatever. The dude can't seem to keep himself out of hot water of late. That is what it is. But the fact that he is now just like, yeah, I'm just going to write a novel with James Patterson, and we're just going to write a super cool book. And then it's just going to be so awesome that all of these movie studios are going to buy up the rights to this book so that they can make a movie out of it before the book's even written or anyone knows if it's any good.
Well, I feel like that has been a trend.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And we talked about it on this show about books becoming movies before they're even released.
Yep.
This is more of the same shit from Hollywood, which is like, just let the book come out. Let's see if it's a success or if it's even any good. And so it says, basically, Deadline understands that Patterson, who is among the book world's highest grossing authors and then YouTube's biggest star, Mr. Beast, have jointly penned the novel, which has shades of Squid Game. Big shock for Mr. Beast. We hear UTA has put the novel out for submission. Anyways, basically, they're just shopping it around. And so they're basically talking about, one source said that it's going under the title of The Most Dangerous Game, but like, what?
You mean?
Yes, it does.
Right.
Like, what? So I guess that they're just like
Plagiarism.
right.
That's what
I'm guessing that they're signaling to people what this book's going to be and alluding to the deal with this book. And they said, but it hasn't been confirmed. And they're hearing that there's other titles. But like, if they call it The Most Dangerous Game, I'm even more angry.
Right.
Like about this in general. I mean, like I said, no hate on either of these dudes, but like this just feels like such a freaking PR stunt. It feel like, and that's the thing with Mr. Beast, is that the dude is a never-ending PR stunt, like constant. And he has a marketing machine that just keeps his shit afloat. Like, and it's just kind of a wild thing to watch happen. It's just very indicative of modern social media, and it just kind of has an icky feel to it, especially for me hearing Mr. Beast talk and things. I'm just like, hey, this isn't a dude that needs to be writing books. Like, he's fine doing YouTube stuff, whatever. This just doesn't work for me.
Well, I wonder if he's even writing this book, or if it's that James Patterson wrote it and they were like, hey, we're going to tie your name to this, give a little bit of feedback, and then boom, we're giving you a writer credit, and we're going to take this and we're going to do this crazy stuff with it. Because honestly, that's probably what it is.
Probably. Still. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Beast is just he's a businessman with high functioning autism.
For real.
And no hate there. Like, obviously, this dude is a billionaire, like, probably at this point. But, like, that's just, he never stops working, never stops doing things. Like, he always has to be working towards something. So, like,
of course, he's
this is no different to me than, you know, having people keep their hand on a truck for 2 weeks to win $1 million. It's you know, that's just his shtick at this point. He'll do anything to get publicity, to get views, to make an impact on society. So
Planet says that Mr. Beast is a sociopath.
Literally, he is a sociopath.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Captain Meat's talking about James Patterson in here as well. And this whole thing is just
Captain.
Yeah, this news just made me just kind of go. So we'll see what studio buys it up and ends up chugging out this movie.
Probably freaking Amazon.
Right, probably.
Amazon's gonna buy it and be like, we're making it.
And they'll sell it to Netflix. Who will sell it to them? Paramount,
Voodoo TV.
Sell it to themselves.
Right.
And everybody will just kind of jag each other off and have a great time.
Right, and then it'll probably never come out.
Yeah.
So
and it'll be the most expensive movie ever.
Right, exactly.
And they'll brag about it.
Yes, as some people do.
So the last little piece of news here I have is something that I had no idea was even happening, and it's kind of wild. And it's that Malcolm in the Middle is fully coming back. I didn't know this was a thing. And when I say fully, I mean fully. So the news here is that Malcolm in the Middle revival, Christopher Masterton, Justifer Barfield are also returning, and they've recast one of the characters. But basically, these are the Malcolm in the Middle brothers that they're bringing back. But what I did not realize, and apparently this has been brewing for some time, it was previously announced that Frankie Muniz is returning as Malcolm, and also Bryan Cranston and Jane Kaczmarek are coming back as the parents, which is really wild. That this is a full return of the Malcolm in the Middle series.
You know what they need to do with this?
What?
100%. They need to tie in Breaking Bad with this. 100%. Just go on with it. Like, fuck it. You know?
It was,
at this point, you're rebooting this. Might as well just have fun with it and be like,
Walter White was actually like an alternate identity. This was his second family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was actually the Malcolm in the Middle dad all along.
Yep.
I'm game for this.
Yeah. Why not have fun with it? You know, like,
because that's not what they're gonna do. They're gonna make it bad. I've never watched Malcolm in the Middle, but I know a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
And what they're gonna do, and what they always do with this kind of shit, is that they just make it really bad. And the thing is when the show ends, you're like, okay, cool. Like, I know how these characters stand, and now they're gonna recreate this. And what this does is it messes with the viewer's perception of the characters.
Right.
So these people, whoever's watching and loved is like, this is how I've viewed the characters. They're gonna end up changing it. they're gonna be like, oh, well, actually, this and this and this, and you're gonna be like, wait, that's not what the characters would have done. Like, that's not in my canon. So I think that's just really like, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, it's because they're using nostalgia as a weapon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it always backfires.
Most
because
of the
I
time.
don't know if y'all, almost always in my, there's a few exceptions, but almost always, if I go back to it, I'm like, oh man, shit, I love this as a kid. I go back to it and I'm like, oh, that was disappointing. And now I have tainted memories of it. Like it wasn't as good as I thought. So I try to avoid it at all costs. So if you have nostalgia about Malcolm in the Middle, almost said Breaking Bad, don't watch it. That's pretty much it. Also, Captain, I see you. I read every single one of yours in my mind.
Yeah, so we got a 199. Do you think that this is a Geeks and Gamers show, sir? Do you think that you just do 199 chats up in here because we're just Geeks and Gamers now? Is that what's happening?
I'll read everything.
But yes, he wants us to read my comments, you hers. So yes, he also said that James Patterson is his second cousin, and James Patterson doesn't write any of his books as it is, and they're going to have two authors that don't write.
Wow, you actually just did what he said.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Good boy.
Listen, you know, I do what I'm told around here, and I owe Captain Meat a lot. So he's helped out Criticless quite a bit over the years. So, and he said, and Frankie Muniz just placed like 12th in NASCAR race, and that is actually what I was going to bring up. I'm glad that you did because I had already forgotten about it. Which is that he's racing like NASCAR now and kicking ass. Right, it's freaking awesome.
Turn left, Frankie.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that he's doing it. Good on him. I mean, like, why the heck not?
With your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to do it. You know, you do something, you get really rich and famous as a kid, and then you go do whatever you want. Why not go drive cars in circles?
For sure.
And get paid for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think good on him. You know, congratulations, dude. Keep at it. But I think we're gonna go ahead and move into what's didn't see it.
Do we need to show the crowd?
Yeah.
Gone now.
Oh man.
It was in the.
Apparently, Chris drew a wiener on our bottle.
It was very well.
Not a sponsor though, but Bumbo, for real. If you don't drink it, it's phenomenal. We just sit here and sip it straight. It's an excellent rum. Real good stuff. Good. So we like it. But actually, before starting this, I will mention, if you don't follow my escapades, I am on other shows on Mondays. I'm on Monday Night Hangover on Drunk 3PO, Jay's channel. And then on Wednesdays, I'm on Bro Science. Now, the reason that I bring up both of these is because when I'm on Bro Science, they have a ritual where when they start out the show, they do a big fat snort of smelling salts.
I thought you were going to say cocaine.
Yeah, they do a big bump before the show starts. So these guys have never done smelling salts.
Have you?
And well, I'm on the show now. I've done it quite a bit.
Old veteran.
So I'm just gonna pass this around. You just Planet X just gave us a $5, by the way. Peace and long life. Yeah, dude.
Peace.
Yeah. Thanks for the $5. And we're gonna hit these before we start our what's streaming. See how you guys can hold up.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Like, I won't even make a reaction.
Oh, that was too big. All right, your turn, Chris.
You ready?
Yeah.
Like, no reaction at all.
All right.
I'm gonna
go for it.
This far and sniff.
Yep. That's just reaction.
Your eyes are literally watering.
Nope.
All right, there you go.
All right.
It's ammonia.
Mine was way too big. You gotta.
Cat urine.
Yep.
Woo! Yeah, it is. I'm jazzed. I'm ready.
Condensed ammonia.
Yeah.
Anybody who's cleaned anything in the book knows that smell well.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
It reminds me of our cat we had because I did his litter box and we were really bad about like doing his litter box in a regular cadence. And there were times where, man, that's all.
Oh yeah, it's just like snorting, just hot cat piss. Yeah, or wasabi.
No, I'd rather snort wasabi.
Yeah,
I think.
So if you haven't done smelling salts, the whole thing is, it gets you jazzed. It makes you focus, wakes you up.
My arms are tingling, so I don't know about waking me up.
I want to go to sleep.
No, you didn't get a big enough of a hit.
Oh, no, I did.
Have at it.
I was like, I just have a
You got to do seconds.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'll do it.
I've gotten to where I actually enjoy it. I really do like it. Yeah,
It's going to pass out.
yeah.
Probably my high blood pressure. It's stopping right now. It's like, yeah, go to sleep. Find that happy place.
Yeah, it's good shit. It will wake you up. I'm ready to fucking rock. So let's talk about what we've been watching lately. Have you guys been watching anything? I have a feeling we might have been watching same things potentially.
Oh yeah,
some different. Yeah, but what's been going on in the streaming world?
Chris, you want to go?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Yeah, because I haven't watched really anything. No, but I did finish up Severance.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
Blaine
Yeah.
also did. Loved it. Great masterpiece. If Adam Scott doesn't win an Oscar or whatever
True.
the fuck they give for TV shows, it's a travesty.
Yep,
A
travesty.
few things, but it's bad. So it was great.
Yeah, it's still sitting at an 83% on Criticless currently.
Surprisingly low.
It's gone down of late. We had a few shit missiles come in. So yeah, we had a 30%. We had a $5 from Philip, who regularly bombs the shit out of almost everything he watches.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Whiskey Girl said, honest opinion, maybe a 5 out of 10. That's a 50%.
So
My math is not mathing, I guess.
Funny enough,
Funny enough,
I am here in the comments saying the exact same thing.
Because
And Banjo says full Nas retardo.
That's a great gift.
It really is.
that's fast.
Banjo is always coming in hot. I'm surprised he's not in the chat. He's been popping in on some of these shows.
Yeah,
but
he makes great gifts.
He does. This one makes me laugh regularly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said the exact same thing because I was like, if it's a 5 out of 10, then that would be a 50%. Actually, so but other than that, we have a few 50s, but this is, and I did even in my review, I pointed out with Severance that it's like I can understand how like there is going to be an audience of people who are really not going to like this, where it's like if I showed this to my parents, they'd be like, this is fucking weird.
I don't understand anything that's going on.
Right.
Sure. That's the alert.
Yeah,
Is
it
the
is.
mystery.
If you're
that
into
was
mystery.
the most fun for me watching these 2 seasons. 3?
2 seasons, 3 seasons, no, three.
This is 3, yeah.
Something.
Is just like having the like conversations of what is it actually all about, and that was the most fun of it. That's why I kind of want this to be the end. Like I don't want them to do another.
Oh no! If it ended the way that it just ended, I would be angry.
Well,
would it drop your review?
Yes.
Would you like be like, it's now 70 or whatever?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it ended now, I would not be
fight
happy.
after. It's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. I've mentioned it many times. We can't talk about it without talking about spoilers, but
Also, we had 2 penny puppet said, "Now show your guns off."
yeah, we got to.
All right, Chris, starting with
because
you.
to do it.
What are you carrying?
I'm not.
What carrying today?
Right
You're
You're
not
not packing?
Yeah.
Show your other guns.
So 2 penny puppet
Well,
is
but I don't think YouTube won't like it.
that's our
We don't need to see your purse carry.
clearly you guys have not been watching when I show up on Bro Science. I see how it is. But yeah, so you really what you do is you give a good huff of the smelling salts and then you give a rock solid flux, and then you whip your wiener out,
Yeah.
We
And
do
then helicopter
that.
dick and you fly away.
Every show.
I'm on board.
So
now.
Yeah, you should watch the show more often.
but yeah, thanks for the 2 penny. And so clearly he's a carryover from Bro Science. What's up, buddy? Glad of you to join us. So Matt, what you been watching lately, buddy? What's streaming?
So we talked about it a minute ago. Oh, The Accountant.
Yeah.
Ben
Yes.
Affleck.
Yes.
First time
Yeah.
watching it, and damn, it's good.
Yeah, really.
It is so good. And now
really-
I'm super, honestly, now the sequel is one of my most anticipated movies.
Yeah.
Because originally I was like, I don't know what this is. Something Ben Affleck, some action movie or something like that. Like, didn't really know. And then I watch it, I'm like, this is actually way better. Because originally when I think the reason I never watched it was I heard the premise. And I was like, oh, an accountant like does the books for some drug dealers and okay, whatever. No. It's because he's like autistic
He's
or
a
on the
savant. A math savant is what they call
Sure. But he's actually a little bit autistic because everything else. No, it is. So, like they take him to a home as a kid and they were like, hey, like, let's take him in and we'll try to train him. And the dad's military. He's like, no, I'm going to take him home and we're going to teach him how to fight and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
And so he's actually
You don't want to fight? No.
right.
No, just an autistic person.
Yeah.
The least person I want to fight right now.
Yeah. Especially one that's
They'll-
trained
yeah.
and knows how to fight and like all these different fight styles because their dad made them and it's part of their upbringing. But This movie's awesome. If you haven't seen any like action movies, you should definitely go watch this movie.
And
Ben Affleck does such a good job being like autistic.
Yeah, and it's at a 81% on Criticless right now. We have had a lot of reviews come in recently. Matt, you gave it a 90.
Yep.
I remember not being super excited for this. Then back in the day when I used to sail the seven seas regularly, I pirated it one day and was just like, I'm just gonna watch this. And I was like, holy shit, this movie's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I need to do a rewatch right now. Criticless says it's on Prime Video and Max, along with some other like Plex and some other places that are like more of a paid place. But either way, I mean, Max and Prime, most people have one of those two. So you can watch this, and there is going to be a sequel. And from all reports, people are saying that the sequel is better than this one.
And the whole cast is coming back, besides the one reason I knocked off 10 points.
Oh,
she's not coming back.
Made you knock it off? Is it Anna Kendrick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to punch her in the face. I don't condone violence. Sorry, people. But
against women, at least.
Yeah, against women. But like she smacks her mouth the whole time. She's like, that is literally what she does. And then her face is just so yes.
Yeah.
And people sometimes are just like that, but then with her lip smacking drives me crazy. So, and literally my review says that people were getting on me in my, not exactly that, mind you, but along the lines of I'm knocking points off because of Anna Kendrick. And people were like, I don't understand the hate she gets. So it's either people like don't mind her and like her, or people are like, I can't stand her.
Well, I'm actually in the middle of that.
Okay.
I'm in betweener.
Oh yeah.
I don't care for her. I don't find her.
I think she's cute, but like she's but only in like when I say cute, I mean literally like in the very typical
like
sense of that. Kind of, yeah. Like you know, it's not like I'm not like it's just like she's kind of mousy and like I don't know, she's kind of cute, I guess, but it's like I don't know.
Look, nobody cares what I think. Honestly, don't be offended. Like
I'm so offended right now.
Preference. I also don't care for pickled beets. You know what I mean? Like,
me neither.
No offense to anybody who does, but it's she doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. So she really hurts this movie for you.
For me, she does. It's not that she's bad. It's just I can't stand her.
Right. I don't like her. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's literally just.
Well, and so for the sequel, it sounds like he's going to be paired with John Bernthal, and he's actually a lead with him in this, which makes me very excited.
And he's in the first one.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, right. He's just a more robust role in this.
Yeah, well, which makes sense that he's more important in this movie.
Right, and he wasn't famous really when he was in the last movie either.
Yeah, no, he really wasn't. I think that might have been not one of his first roles, but if I watched it when it came out, probably one of our earlier
time, probably wouldn't have even known who he was. Just like, oh, this is a guy playing a role. Like,
is he counting that old?
He's been around the first.
When did the first accountant come out?
2016.
Yeah.
So never mind. I take back what I said because I know I watched The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead was like 2012.
Yeah, I watched The Walking Dead in college, so it was like 2011, and he was the main in that.
Oh, that's right. So this would have been after.
So this was well after that. Disregard the statements we made earlier.
It still wasn't like huge. Like now he's much bigger star than he was after Punisher and all the other things. So yeah, but anyways, I'm excited about Accountant 2. Definitely check out the Accountant 1. I'm gonna go back and watch it because I really enjoyed it back when it came out. Chris, I think you'll like it. I remember.
I may have seen it and just forgot about it.
Right.
I mean,
y'all are praising it pretty high, so I probably have to see it.
It's just fun seeing him because he has that type of like tism where he's just kind of blunt and can be a dick about things, and he just knows. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. Leave the room. And he just stares at you, and you're like, oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna leave now. And he's like, yes, do. And he's just like that. So he's just very blunt.
And he's also a stone cold killer.
Yes.
So so those things paired together is like pretty badass.
Yeah.
That's honestly surprising to me that you enjoy that. I feel like you have an aversion to like awkward, like socially awkward people or situations or movies or scenarios. So
it's just the way he does it though. Like Ben Affleck just does such a good job of just being like, it feels natural and you like him, even though he's one of those kind of like awkward people. He's just likable.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's really cool.
That's high praise coming for you, like knowing what I know about your preferences.
Yeah. So
okay.
If you're listening to this and you haven't watched it yet, you should definitely do it and go drop a review.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah, drop your review on Criticless for it. I will mention just for a moment. I don't want to get us stuck on anime forever. Matt has mentioned this already. It's the main thing I've been watching because I was catching up. But if you are into anime, or even if you're like maybe gonna dip your toe into it. Granted, the only way to watch this is on Crunchyroll, but the show is Solo Leveling. We have talked about it on here before. I already previously gave it a 96%. I think that this show is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Matt's score wasn't quite as high, but was still pretty high. He gave it like a 79. And then I Miss Good Movies gave it a 98. He loves it. Really saw a lot of nuance in there. His reviews great as well. I think that season 2 is fantastic. I absolutely hooked and all in. I love this show. I think it's great. And I'm just waiting for we've got like 2 or 3 episodes that have already been aired that don't have dub on it yet. There's no voice acting.
Just read the sub, man.
English. I do not read subs. Just can't.
Blaine is like me in normal life,
right?
With movies.
Yes.
I can't read
books.
Blaine can't read a movie.
Yes, I can. It's too much work. I'm not trying to put in work when I'm watching TV. I just unless I have to, unless I'm forced to, I'm not going to do it. Also, the problem is with subbed and dubbed with anime, I've noticed, is that if you get used to a voice and then all of a sudden you switch over and you're like, oh, this is not right. This is wrong.
Dude, that's how I felt about
One Piece.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
One Piece. God awful.
Yes.
Dub. Like,
Oh, yeah. But that's because they did like this dubbing in like the early 2000s, and it was before anime was super popular, and they were just like,
blame the early 2000s.
I am blaming the early 2000s. I'm blaming ignorant people.
Yeah.
Us.
And bad voice actors.
And bad voice acting. Yeah, because Sanji's voice actor is like a surfer dude.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to hear coming from him.
I don't know, whoever the man pirate guy with the
Luffy.
Yeah. The Luffy. It was so annoying. Literally, me and my girlfriend could not get through the
Yeah.
Good news is, and I've talked about it elsewhere, I think, but is that Netflix is actually remaking the original first series of the show with all new art, all new voice acting, and cutting out all the fat. And it's by the original team, the original creators. Like everybody's back, from what I gather. Or I think there's some new artists and things, but
it's probably like new artists.
Same. It's not like a reimagining or anything. Like it is literally just like, hey, we're trimming the fat, we're giving it new art.
Honestly, and as a fan of the original show, it's smart.
Yeah,
it's hard to sit down and watch the original series.
It is, because
it doesn't hold up nowadays. It's that classic like hand drawn or mid 90s drawings. But if they redo it now, I don't like the current style. It's like a hyper colorful style, and I don't like it. Right. There was a sweet spot about 10 years ago where I was like, this is the perfect like animation style for this. And so I haven't watched a lot of the new stuff because I don't dig the animation style.
Right.
But so I hope they don't use that new animation style.
Yeah. But and to bring it back to Solo Leveling, and we did have a comment that I just popped up a minute ago, but from Dole Status basically saying that he's gotten into it and really digging it. And I will say, like, this is, like I said, for even people that don't like anime, if you were into video games at all, if you were especially into board gaming, this show is a must. Like, it is so good. It's the shit. The animation's awesome. Like, they go with like hardcore violence and limb chopping off and blood and gore and all of that, which I love, like, in this style. And it's just basically about a dude who there's almost a spoiler level to this, but it's like he finds out that the world isn't what he thought it was, and he has abilities that other people don't have, and he can do really cool shit. And it turns out to be awesome, and the show plays like watching someone realizing that they're living in a board game almost.
Yeah.
And it is
terrifying.
It is.
They lose their mind. They get put in a straitjacket.
Right. Yeah. That is typically what happens.
That one.
I think you would like the show a lot, Chris. It's good, man.
Where I've seen it, or maybe I've just heard you talk about it.
We've been talking about it a lot.
We've been talking about it for 2 years now or something.
Yeah.
So but the show is very good. I love it. I think the animation style is great. I don't know. Are you enjoying season 2?
I haven't watched season 2 yet.
Okay.
I got logged out, and I haven't asked for
my password.
Your password yet? So and I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch because Xena doesn't watch it.
Right.
So I haven't sat down to watch it except once, and then I was like, it's like midnight. And
right. Well, this new season is very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So, and I will go ahead and piggyback in case either of y'all have been watching it. I am still watching Daredevil Born Again. If anybody was curious about how that show still is, if it's any good. I'm so on it. This is not Netflix Daredevil. It's not. I think that it is solid. I think that it is getting better. There's an episode in there that is a wet blanket, and it sucks balls. It's not good, and it's just boring. And you're like, what was the point of that episode?
Is it the candy corn one? Or the caramel corn one?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
And I was just like, that was boring as shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a waste of an episode.
So have you seen the new ones? Because I think 2 came out this week.
Yes, 2 did come out. I've watched the first of the 2.
Is it
It's
better?
Good. It's good. It's gotten
Okay.
better. So I think that this show is getting better, and it's not bad.
Okay.
It's just not as good as the original, but I've seen a lot of praise within like our Criticless cast group from Choose Violence. He is saying that it's getting better and better. He was really happy with these 2 episodes. The recent episode is actually about a bank robbery, and they lean into some interesting things with Daredevil's powers with that, and it's about him stopping a bank robbery, and they also tie it into Kamala Khan, which is Miss Marvel, yes.
Kamala Harris.
Yes, not Kamala Harris. I would have turned the show off. But
if she's committing a bank robbery and Murdoch
is fighting her,
Harris,
right?
I want to watch that right now.
It's like, what is she doing since she lost her presidential
She's
campaign?
just blackout drunk, slurring the words. It's like,
I will pay hundreds of dollars, tens of pennies at least to watch that.
For sure. Yeah, but so I have been watching it. I'm not fully in yet. It's sitting at a 44% on Criticless right now, but I think there have been people are still ship missiling this. A lot of people are still giving it like 50% and stuff.
And at least
which
for
I say
stuff.
low effort ship missiles.
Well,
these aren't low efforts. They're just. But we have a lot of 50% and stuff. We're not fully through the show. As I said with Philip, gave it a 0 because that's what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've
we do.
Yeah, but people seem torn on it. I don't want to judge this yet just because we don't really know the end result. But I will say that right now, I would probably only be at about like a 55-60% because I'm still not sure if I like it.
Yeah. And honestly, I haven't seen this week's episodes. But besides that, what's that, like 4 episodes?
Yeah.
I am not enjoying it so far. There's very little to enjoy currently.
Right.
So I would be more in like the bogus range.
Because he's still not even really Daredevil.
Right. We got 2. We've had the intro opening fight scene, which was filmed in a way where you didn't get to see a lot. And then there was one other fight scene, and that's about it. 4 episodes in. And we
did get Punisher in one scene, which was
not one was that.
He wasn't even punishing. They were just arguing with each other.
Right.
What Punisher was it?
John Bernthal.
Yeah.
God, he's back.
Yeah.
He's back. He is back.
Well, he was back for an episode.
Well,
That's
which
enough.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
No, you didn't see him punish anybody.
Well, yeah, I want to see.
Not really.
So I'm lukewarm on it still. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna keep watching it because I didn't fall off. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
I do want to add on to my one input. What I did also watch, which I haven't posted a review for, is per usual. Everybody should know. I did watch Electric State.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we wanted
the state of electricity.
Drama happening. I do not understand. I'm in lieu of me making the review.
Yeah.
Because it'll take me a few months.
Sure.
But I don't understand why there was so much hate on it. Again, I'm not like some super huge fan of whatever the artist was for this. I've seen the art, appreciate it, don't know any backstory. So if there's something that's missing, okay, cool. Like you can hate it all you want.
Yeah.
But as far as the movie goes, in the movie sense, it was a fairly fine movie. Like it wasn't mind blowing, wasn't great, wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it did make me cry, but I'm an emotionalist, and I cry over just about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand the drama behind like why some people are giving us like the single digits.
You're right, and I don't understand that either.
All right, just wanted to throw that out there. I know Blaine had very strong opinions about it, which got heated.
I started World War III. It was I'm at the root of all hell breaking loose about the Electric State.
Militias were called.
No, I think it was already. I think the dam already had cracks in it, and
it did.
There was a couple people like in the poke buttons and trying to like start something.
Of course, and then I just dumped gasoline on the fire.
Yeah,
I guess is the better way to put it.
I poked the dead horse.
Yeah,
as they say.
Yeah,
it is.
So
it really like I enjoyed it.
Right.
It was fun. It was fun.
So
like, I don't.
It's
I
not a
go back and
horrendous
watch
movie.
it. No, it's definitely not bad. It is definitely not bad. Right? So it's at least a 50 or higher because it wasn't objectively bad. Like it's sure had it. Is it predictable? Has it been done before? Was there nothing unique about it? Were the characters dry? Yeah, like some of those, sure, I'll give you some of that, but it still doesn't take it below a 50. Like it's still a decent movie that I enjoyed the 2 hours that I spent watching it.
Yeah.
Would I watch it again? Probably not, but it was still not like
Wasn't a bad time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Right.
like fucking fight somebody on the side of the street because they think otherwise. Like, it's just it was a movie, and it did, like I said, have emotional tones that did touch me in my hearty heart.
I mean,
Right.
same. There was some things that did get me emotionally. So
Yeah. And that's my thing is to me and why I fired the shots that I did was I was just like, look, it feels a little disingenuous to just like fully shit missile this thing and say that it's the worst thing ever and it's terrible and whatever. And there's so many people in the YouTube space that were doing it, and there's just so many. It's like it just felt very echo chambery, and I didn't like it. And it was just I felt like somebody just need to be like, guys, fuck off. Like it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I don't see how you can say that.
That's a bandwagon.
Yes.
Right. I could see some people coming in and going, maybe this movie is a low decent, maybe even a high bogus, if you don't like the actors.
Right.
I mean, that to me.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
You still liked it as much as you did.
Said that I don't care for either one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And they both did well above their standard in my mind. So yeah, I'd give it in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're being a rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rad.
Rad.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. And I mean, like you said, decent and above makes sense for me. Anything other than that, I'm just like, guys, come on. Are we being dramatic?
We bet.
Like, so anyways, yeah. But I think that pretty much covers it for what we've been watching. You guys think so? So yeah. All right. Well, then what we need to do is we need to get to business and talk about what all of you guys came to hear us talk about. Yes, I did pee. So yes, I have no idea if y'all heard that already. They did hear it, but I did go pee. I disappeared. I never do that. I think that's like the first show ever that I've had to actually get up and pee.
Dude,
you gotta.
You know what?
Urethra.
Yeah, I just
think you're
blasted
right.
that stream out.
The flow is heavy.
Well, you know what they say about big urethras.
You pee quick.
You pee fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say.
You got there.
Yeah.
That was it.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so guys, we're here to talk about A Working Man. This is the new film starring Jason Statham, David Harbour, Michael Pena. It's directed by David Ayer, the dude who has released some really critically acclaimed even films like Street Kings, Fury, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, I freaking love that movie. He was involved with Training Day. Now he did do the Suicide Squad, but End of Watch, like this guy has done some really good movies, and I'm a fan of David Ayer. He's stuck to his guns, but then also, like I said earlier, it's written by him and Sylvester Stallone, which is wild and really kind of weird. And then there's even more to this, which is that it's not even just him. This is based off of a novel as well by a notorious comic book artist, or I mean author as well, who I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but either way. So there's a lot of big names and things tied to this.
Something Patterson, I think.
Wait,
No,
is this a comic book adaptation?
No.
A graphic novel, or is it an actual novel?
It is an actual novel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an actual novel, and it's based off of a series. I actually had it pulled up earlier, and then I closed it down like an absolute
like a Tom
idiot.
Clancy situation.
No, actually,
Oh.
so that's like I said, it was attached to a book by a comic book artist, or I mean author, Chuck Dixon. That's the guy's name. So Chuck Dixon, he's been involved with a lot of things. The original book is actually called Levon's Trade, is the name of the book. And so he's less known for actually writing books, but he's been attached to Batman, Birds of Prey, Green Arrow, Nightwing, Punisher. Punisher is his most notable thing that he's done.
Yeah.
But also he's even recently written for Riververse, which is friends of the show and Geeks and Gamers and all of that. And so he's been writing comics for their comic book company as well. So, I mean, so basically though, that's the thing, is that this film in general is full of a lot of real ones.
Yeah.
We know that Sylvester Stallone is a real one. Same for Chuck Dixon, if he's has the balls to write for Rippaverse. Like, these are dudes that aren't part of the current Hollywood system.
Cabal.
Yeah, the Cabal, yeah,
Someone
including
said.
They say.
including David Ayer. And so now the question is, does this movie live up to expectations with all of these OGs tied to it, these people that we really want to support and like? And if you don't know what the premise of this movie is that essentially it's Jason Statham's character, which is Levon, is he's essentially a decorated military man. He's a man with a lot of skills, and basically he's a Black Ops-esque type of guy, and he has a daughter, and he's estranged a bit because his wife has passed and all of this stuff, but basically gets wrapped up in helping to save a friend's daughter who is being human trafficked. And that is the plot of the movie. And
I feel like I've seen this movie before.
yeah, it's this is
Yeah.
not a plot that you haven't heard of, or even just events and so on and so forth.
Particular set of skills.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn once.
And this is a rated R movie, so it is a full 2 hours, so it's a good length on the movie. It's has some violence and things of that nature, but I guess Chris being first and foremost, we know that Chris
He's in it right there.
yeah,
That's all you gotta
he
say.
just that's
Chris being first.
yes, he
That's what I like to do.
well, I was going to follow that up by saying, as we all know, that Chris doesn't know shit about fuck, and so I'm guessing that you knew nothing about this movie.
None whatsoever. I literally thought this was The Beekeeper because it was like the premise
director,
that I heard
same
in
actor.
my mind was exactly the same. It
Mhm.
was like, dude, society of killing people.
Right. Did you see The Beekeeper?
God, no.
Oh, I didn't either.
I actually did see that.
Did you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think? Because I haven't.
It was okay.
Okay.
My favorite thing was that like the
Bees.
villain.
Love honey.
That
So
was.
good.
I mean, he does keep bees, but then he's also a retired assassin
Spoiled.
that's called beekeepers.
Yeah.
But anyways,
On the
my
nose.
favorite part was that the villains
Mhm.
were those annoying call center people that
Right,
want
I
to
heard
scam you. So that was my favorite part.
That is a good villain.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
that's
it's honestly like the best villain in this kind of movies because
Right.
nobody pulls for him. Everyone's like, no,
fuck these
hate
guys
those
up.
people.
Fuck their shit.
Exactly.
You know,
And so that was fun, but then there was aspects I didn't like. I can't remember what I rated it. It was probably a low rad, maybe even a decent.
Yeah, I have it pulled up, and you are in my FWB, so you gave it a 65. You gave
There
it
we
a
go.
rad.
Like I said, low
So
rad.
you liked it fairly well. For the users, also gave it a rad. And then we got John Ray Movie Man giving it 81%. We've got some out of my FWBs. Yeah, they are fairly high. Mr. Know-It-All gave it a 72%. Now John Parks gave it a 25. So this is my Friends with Benefits. You're getting an inside look into the people that I think at least kind of sort of agree with me. If you have not set people in your FWB list yet, I highly recommend doing it if you're a Criticless user. Really put people in that list. Like, it will help you to get a score. If you look, like my FWB score is almost exactly what the audience score is,
right?
Which is pretty interesting. I still haven't seen it, so I can't tell you. But I have, and we have seen The Working Man, and we can tell you what we think, and if you should check this out or not, because it's just released, and we have watched it. So, Chris, as the guy who knows nothing about nothing, I don't want to ask you yet. Matt, you are the one I'm most curious about in this movie. What did you think about Jason Statham and The Working Man, or A Working Man?
A Working Man?
Mm-hmm. And compared to The Beekeeper, because you're the only one that's seen it. And this is the same director and actor.
I think this movie was a bogus. This movie, I am torn between a high bogus and maybe a low decent. I could be talked up to decent potentially, but this movie was.
How you really feel.
I mean,
I just say it, Matt. Say it.
2 hours. It shouldn't have been 2 hours. Way too long for this movie. Like I yawned several times. I had the urge to check my phone.
I left and got popcorn and a drink because I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
Time too.
Yeah.
Because guess what?
What?
Nothing
happened.
Yeah. Well, I feel like something happened, but it didn't matter.
Nothing matters.
No.
Like, I am the black pill person here. Nothing happens. Entropy is going to take us all. This movie is like beyond like us all falling into a giant black hole. It's
yeah.
I mean, not to like.
Let's hear it. No,
no, go ahead. I mean,
go ahead.
I basically said my piece, and we'll dive into that more as we go on. Yeah, go ahead.
Keep going with that.
Go ahead.
It honestly wasn't that bad.
So what do you think? So where would you rate it then? You liked it?
I would give it like a 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Decent.
still
I'd
a
give it-
low decent.
The
Okay.
lowest of decent.
Yeah.
I give it a decent.
Yeah.
It wasn't objectively bad. I wasn't cringing my pants off.
Right.
I didn't want to leave. It was look, okay. You put Jason Statham on the board of who's in a movie.
Yeah.
What do they call that? The
What-
marquee.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. You didn't know.
His name. What you're saying is that this is a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah, it's a Jason Statham movie. Like if you know
Yeah.
that going into
Yeah.
it, like your expectations are set at
Right.
Statham level.
We know what Statham, unless
there's
it's Statham and Guy Ritchie. That is a different bar.
True.
That is
Little
a
bit.
different,
Yeah.
But that's almost always because Statham is not the main character.
typically.
Well, except for
Operation Fortune and this one that you like a lot.
I can't remember the one.
No,
No, there's the
Um,
one where it was
you have a
Meg Ron
poster
Burr.
out there, I think. In your
Oh,
hallway.
no, that's not the movie I'm talking about.
Okay.
But it was one of his more recent ones where he
Is
becomes a
the
bank.
main-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about. It's a
I
recent
thought you were
one.
talking about Operation Fortune. That was
No, this one's a little older, just a bit.
Oh, The Wrath of Man.
The Wrath of Man.
Yeah,
He is
We
the
reviewed
main.
that actually.
We did.
way back
I
in the
did.
day. Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did. You would
Statham.
wait. Maybe he didn't.
I don't think I
I
was
think
there.
I think Sid
I was
did.
probably out.
Oh,
I think Sid might have saw it with
Huh.
us.
okay.
But yeah,
I do.
that was the one he did before Operation Fortune. So they're still working together.
Yeah.
And people seem to really just enjoy working with him because he tends to get the same gigs with the same people.
Yeah.
Similarly with this movie,
And
and
also produced it. So
Right.
it's kind of easy to hire yourself.
You're right. So right. So what you're saying though is that if you have seen a Jason Statham movie,
Yeah.
then you've seen this movie.
Correct. Yeah. It doesn't do anything new.
Right.
There is nothing profound, revelationary. It's Statham. It's Statham in a
Mm-hmm.
doing what's the movie?
Action.
We already know
Oh,
what movie
movies.
we're talking about.
Oh,
It's
right. You're talking about Taken.
Taken. Thank
Yes,
you. I wouldn't
this
say
is,
Wanted, but
This
Wanted
is
way
kind
better.
of like
Right.
Taken, except for not remotely as good.
It's a
Yeah.
Statham Taken.
Yes.
I wouldn't even say that Taken is that good. So I wouldn't say that it's that big of a disparity between the
Right.
two.
Liam
It's a
Neeson.
different- Yeah. So there's an Irishman in
Yeah.
Taken, or there's an English.
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 And English.
I almost did something very racist.
Do
So
it.
it's it's not that bad, but it's very predictable and it does,
Right.
It
Well,
does what
so-
it does.
That's my thing. That's why I was like, I'm torn between bogus and decent.
Yeah.
This does things where I'm like, okay, I get a little chuckle here, a chuckle there. Some of the action sequences, I was like, yes. Some of them, I was like, what is going on here? This is like, I can't even see what's happening.
Nothing. Yeah. The
Um,
action
right.
sequences are doo-doo.
In
Like,
this,
Some of them,
100
yeah.
they're bad.
all
No, they're
of
bad.
it. There is not. I want them to bring back the Ong Bak level of
Right.
like,
Action.
fucking breaking people's limbs
Uh-huh.
and focusing on it. No
Right.
shaky cam. Show me a dude's
Okay.
tibia
Hold on. One.
getting snapped in half.
Agreed.
I want
Agreed.
to
Let me
see
just
it.
go ahead so that you can
Yeah.
continue.
Please do.
This is a bad movie.
Oh,
This is bad.
all right.
And no, I want you to continue. I have not seen Beekeeper. I love writer, director, all of that connected to this. I do think that this is a bad movie, but on the same hand, I'm kind of still there with Chris. It wasn't offensively bad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that I saw it. I will never see this again.
Correct.
Yeah.
I do not care to think about it even really again.
Never.
But I wasn't mad that I saw it.
Yeah.
But also I could have fallen asleep. Like there is at least 30 minutes of absolute fucking wasted time in this
For sure.
movie that didn't need to be here. The action scenes are dick. Which is like why you come to this movie. I don't know what has happened really. I'm kind of just perplexed in general because I mean David Ayer, I love him. I think he's an excellent director. I love Fury.
Mhm.
I think Fury is a fantastic movie. He's done End of Watch is great. He's done some really good movies. This is not even remotely on that the par of those movies. This feels like a totally different director outside of him leaning into his worst tendencies, which is just complete and total absurdity. The only thing I need to reference is his Suicide Squad movie, and which I know what Chris was going to talk about was the moon. This
Yes.
movie stars the world's biggest fucking moon
No, it's not even a spoiler. But yeah.
Not a spoiler.
No, it has no impact
It
on
is
the actual movie, but
fucking
the
absurd.
the tide in this. I mean, we all know, like, right? We all listen to Black Scientist, old Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he says that the moon doesn't have that big of an impact on the tides. But if the moon was the size of the moon in this movie, holy moly, it would be crashing into us right now.
Yeah.
It's the size of fucking Jupiter.
Yeah.
Rising.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It is.
It's not that great.
Probably not.
It's ridiculous.
The moon, yes, and they keep showing the moon in the background, and it's literally the size of the screen. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know whose idea this was. Every time it happened, we all just busted out laughing. We're like, what the fuck is going on?
And
Zero sense.
right, but if you also looked at it, you could see like the edges were like painted on or something. And I was just like, what in the world? There were several times in the movie that was most obvious, but where I was like, this is an obvious set. Another time when they're in the biker gang's headquarters, and I was like, whose set designer's wet dream was this?
It is ludicrous, and like I said, that is him leaning into his worst tendencies. When I mentioned Suicide Squad, like, he is about like a vibe. He's like, I want dirty and gritty, and I want gangsters, and I want ridiculous. Put freaking moose horns on somebody. Like, I don't care. Make them look like a fucking Viking. Make it unrealistic and ludicrous as shit.
You know what it is? It's literally the most sheltered white person's stereotype of all these situations.
Yes.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, all right, let's think of a shady biker bar where they sell meth. All right. There's a guy back room. It's one room away from the actual bar. He's got a throne. Yeah. It's made of, let's see, exhaust pipes. Okay, yep. It's exhaust pipes. There's a skull on the ceiling.
Yep.
There's bones everywhere. It's really badass.
Yeah.
That's what.
But it needs to look like it was ripped out of Mad Max.
Yeah, that could be cool. Except
Shit
they were
is
playing Darius Rucker's version of Wagon Wheel.
Yes.
While they were going into this biker gang.
When the music
Are you
should have
kidding
been-
me?
The music should have been death metal, and they're like, the wagon wheel, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what has happened to David Ayer? I want to know. Someone tell me. Like,
Sid, you're saying this moon hate is killing me?
No,
You haven't seen this moon, motherfucker. This moon is the size of my butthole. It's
Davey, just
large.
Yeah.
It's in charge. This moon takes up the entire screen.
it,
And it is a literal spotlight as
Yeah.
someone is running through the woods.
it's like,
There is spotlight beams from this gigantic alien moon.
yeah.
shining.
It's like, see, in all seriousness, it's nighttime for all of these scenes, and it's like if the moon was like a couple miles from Earth. That's literally
Yeah,
what it
literally,
looks like.
Yeah. They cut the distance in half.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
Oh,
more
yeah,
than
yeah,
half. More
yeah.
than half.
You go outside and look at the moon. It's like this little circle. No, that was freaking
And that's the thing.
ridiculous.
We've seen moons embellished in movies before,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Wow, that's a big moon. It looks really cool. It's this big." They're like, "No, this motherfucker is
Crank it up to
this
11.
big." And it's like, it is such a weird thing to fixate on, but I mean,
Don't ask those questions. You don't want the answers to.
but yes, I mean, it really is like Chris's enlarged butthole. It is outrageous, and I just it was hard to even focus on the movie. I mean, I'm glad that we got a good laugh out of it, because it really, every time it showed up, we were all just like,
And it felt like it kept getting bigger.
It did. I'm
Like,
pretty sure it
The
did.
first scene it showed it, and we were like, okay, we'll chuckle a little. That was objectively a little large. But then the next time they showed it, it was twice as large. It was huge, like unreasonably. Not like, okay, yeah, you can sometimes see it on the horizon, and like the perspective and our brains are dumb, and like we see it
sure.
there, right? Like,
Mhm.
no.
no.
This was like AI
No.
level.
Yeah.
The moon is bigger than Earth, but like Matt said, there are a lot of sets in this movie that are ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
this movie could have gone some really cool places where they're like, hey, this is basically Jason Statham does The Raid, and he's just like gonna bust into a place and just like run through and kill a whole bunch of dudes. It's gonna be brutally violent, all that. No, The fight scenes in this movie are terrible.
Yep.
Like
Terrible.
they're so bad. Shaky cam shit all over the place. They don't feel visceral or real. Like it doesn't. You're just like, this is some fake shit. I'm watching a bunch of fake ass shit, and then he gets like, oh man, never mind. I'm getting into spoilers.
You are.
But like, this movie is really dumb. It's not very good. I hate to say that because I like everyone attached. There's some really cheesy writing.
Are you really that attached to these people? Like, are you willing to back them up to this extent?
No.
Like, is David David Ayers?
Yeah.
Is he that good that you're willing to be like?
No, and he's done plenty of misses. So
he's had a lot of misses. He has had a lot of misses. Well, and it's with Stallone being attached and just
who gives a shit about Stallone?
I like Stallone. Why? I think he's a cool dude.
because he did that one show,
He has been lately doing a very good show.
The Oklahoma
Gangsters.
Tulsa King. Yeah, Tulsa King.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid. But also features some hammy writing. There's some hammy writing in this.
It's predictable though.
It is.
You know, like if you expect more than that, go fuck
yourself. Yeah, this movie, in all honesty, it's kind of one of those things. This is a Jason Statham movie for bad or for good.
But not a good Jason Statham movie.
It's not.
It's not one of the top 50% of his movies. Like this is a low tier.
It's
right. I'll go watch most of his other movies.
Yeah, this is just. I don't really like
Transporter. Way better.
Yeah, the first one.
The first one.
Yes.
Not Transporter 2.
No.
Okay. Because I was about to say after Transporter 1, it's a downhill.
Kyle can fight me on that if he wants.
Yeah, Transporter 2, the moment that he ramped the car, did a twist, knocked a bomb off the bottom of the car in midair.
Wasn't that final? Or not?
No. It was
serious.
I mean,
probably, but they did it first.
They did it first, and it was. I literally laughed in the theaters, and I was like, "This is the worst movie ever."
Dude, I remember also being like that, and I loved Jason Statham at the time.
Right.
And I was like, he can't do any wrong. And then that happened. And I was like, this might be the worst movie I've seen. As like in high school or whatever. I was like, this is god awful.
You've seen Pacific Rim.
Right. Well,
you mean that's
like,
one of the best movies.
There are moments in do not shit on Pacific Rim. I will fight you in this room on camera. Yeah, no, there's
bum fights.
Yeah, bum fights.
Half a bum fight.
Half a bum fight. Nah, yeah. You know, some days. But yeah, it's look, I guess
what's your score?
My score is like it's probably in the 30s. Like it's
not too far off.
Yeah, it's like Matt said, high bogus at best.
Yeah, and I don't think I can be talked to a decent. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, there were chuckles, there were some laughs.
Most of them weren't.
You honestly missed the best fight scene.
Oh, really?
The first 5 minutes there was a really cool fight scene, but he didn't get there until after
the movie late.
After the fight scene at the
coolest fight scene
in this movie, yes.
That's real sad.
There are very good ones.
Which also had that might
had no impact on anything. Yeah. But that was probably one of the best fight scenes in the movie. So
it's just you've seen the plot for this movie 100 times. You have seen better action. You have seen better acting. You have seen in every aspect.
Everything is better.
Yeah, you've seen it better. You've seen it done better. There's nothing new here. This movie is ludicrous and ridiculous and over the top and hammy as shit. And I hate it for him, but it is. I don't recommend you see it in theaters. You're bored. Smoking a doobie one day at home, and you're like, "Hey, I just want to
yeah."
But outside of that, I do not recommend you going to see this in theaters. I did not think it was great. I don't know how the critical or even the audience reception is going to be for this. I feel like the critics are going to be at least semi-hard on this, at the very least.
Yeah, I think they're going to be harder than we are. I would not be surprised to see this sitting in single digits.
Dude, if they're not,
then we already judge them regularly, so
they're already nothing in my mind.
Right.
Yeah,
no offense.
Peasants and fools. And I actually did want to go ahead and pull it up because I was extremely curious about the way that Rotten Tomatoes works is moronic. It actually does have a 50% on the old tomato meter. So that's still
what?
50?
56.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a little too high.
It is too high. I am honestly, even just with the people attached and everything about this, I'm surprised that the score is this high. I'm curious to see what our audience rating is compared to theirs. Apparently they have fewer than 50 verified ratings, and then all audience. So all audience here there are some. It's a split. There's not a whole lot of reviews in here though. There's only a handful. So
Yeah.
and we have none. Last I checked, that the only reason I'm checking Rotten Tomatoes is because we have none. Oh wait, we have one. Someone gave it a most excellent in Terrapin. Jared,
Terrapin.
you have been judged.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that an
80%. That is an 80%.
Did we watch different movies?
I think we saw a different.
look?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate.
He says a beekeeper transports honey in his Mini Cooper to crank up the energy of a mechanic who is charging the oil of a Meg while playing cards with a ghost on Mars.
Okay, that's all you need to put. That's
Jared.
the best review I've ever seen.
Mad props, dude. That's a
Hands
great
down.
review.
So good.
Where's his coffee meter? So coffee used as a weapon.
Yeah, that's true.
Levon drinks many cups of instant coffee. Owns a mocha pot. So yeah, that's on his coffee rating scale. And
Love it.
he says Ariana Rivas as Ginny is the best, and the worst is there's so much evil in this movie. Dude, I'm glad you liked it. Honestly, I mean, like I said, y'all can tell by the way I talk about this, I want this movie to do well just because of the people attached. I personally, and clearly this entire room think this movie's doo-doo.
Yeah. And I don't give a shit about anybody.
Just fucking doo-doo.
Yeah, I didn't like it very much. I'm sorry. I hope more people feel the same way that Jared did. And Terrapin does tend to be higher on this type of movie. But at the same time, he can be harsh on some others that I feel like are in the similar realm. So I'm a little surprised that he liked this as much as he did. Obviously, our scores are going to be way lower, but I think we need to go ahead and get into spoilers now.
Yeah,
don't you guys? So, and actually also, so Sin's Quarter is talking about Death of a Unicorn, actually, which I do want to mention. That was what we decided not to watch, and we watched this instead. I do wish we had seen that. I didn't want to watch that, but I felt like this movie would be watched by more people, and everyone would be more curious about this movie. But she said Death of a Unicorn has 57%. Which surprises her, and thinks she's thinking about canceling her ticket for this movie, which honestly I don't exactly blame you. Like, this movie is hammy. Knowing what I know about Sin's Corner and like your Sin's opinions, I think that you will probably be at a bare minimum on the same page as us, if not harsher. Probably. So yeah, this movie is not great, but it's I do want to see Death of a Unicorn. I heard it is a bit divisive, and I heard that it is going to have a torn audience. I still want to see it, and that was what Chris wanted to watch, but we chose this instead and made him watch this movie. But we did get to laugh at the moon, which was enjoyable. It was so. Yeah, but I think, what do you guys think? Should we move into spoilers and just spoil this movie? All right, guys. So if you don't want this movie spoiled, then go ahead and bail. This is professionalism. Like I said, this is us operating at our best. We know bumpers. We know
bumps.
We know how to do things. We bump things.
That's
right.
Good entertainment here, guys. You're welcome. You just watched like 10 bumpers in a row. So yeah, it's and that's another thing about Sin's Corner. What she kind of said was remembering how she felt about Beekeeper, and it sounds like Matt thought Beekeeper was even better than this movie, which we haven't seen. So yeah, if you like Beekeeper, it sounds like that is better than this, so you might be even in for a worse thing. I want to know what's going on with David Ayer. Like, this dude used to put out really good shit. Like, and that is the thing. It's kind of like that article that I talked about earlier, where the whole thing about that actor saying, oh, well, sometimes we put out bad things, and sometimes people are disappointed in what we do, and whatever. Sure. And it's just like, how do you have this director who's known for putting out stuff like Fury and End of Watch, which are just absolutely phenomenal, and then to turn around and do like some of the most hammy ass shit like this imaginable?
Go ahead. Both have things to say.
Yes.
That it's an unpredictable situation.
Right.
Now, I can't imagine being in the position of an artist, which I will put directors, producers, whatever. They're all in that scope, that realm of artistic expression, right? So, like, you have something that you put out. You invested your heart and soul into, hopefully, maybe not in some cases, but you don't know what the universe is going to do with it, right? So like to be able to say that like, oh, this is fine, this is great. That's kind of always what's in my mind is like, if this is going through the editing process and you're like, yeah, this is a great ass movie.
Right.
I watched what is this? The Working Man.
Doesn't know name of movie.
Title. And I'm like, yeah, look, I directed this and I approved all the editing cuts and whatever it is, whatever job they do. I don't know. I'm an idiot. But they're like, yeah, this is what I wanted to put out.
Right.
And then this comes out. I just don't know what they're expecting. Like it has to be like an ignorance or a mystique of just society as a whole and what they're going to accept and what they're not. But I feel like this one is pretty easy to just be like, this is at best a 50% movie. You know, so
yeah, but there's so many movies like that though that we're just like, why was this ever made? Like, why is this so bad? I feel like with this movie that it might be this is based on a book and all this stuff. So I wonder if he was just trying to be as faithful maybe as he could be, and then editing gets in the way and things like that. Maybe that's why this feels so discombobulated so constantly. Because for me, I was just constantly like, what in the world's even happening? Like, why are we still watching this movie?
Right. Because it just went on and on and on. And I was really kind of baffled because I'm like, this movie could have easily been 30 minutes shorter. There was a level of complexity in here with like added characters and like he's dealing with the mob and he's dealing with his daughter and he's dealing with, there's just all these things he's dealing with in like, and he's dealing with his buddy who's a blind man who's played by David Harbour, who we haven't even fucking mentioned. Like there is all of these pieces and parts to this. And I'm like you said, Matt, I think, or whichever one else said it about like sticking to the book and yeah, like I feel like that was some of what was happening and it overstayed its welcome. Easily 30 minutes shorter, but like I said, I don't know that this saves it because the action didn't really work. Like which is wild because we know that this director is good at action.
Right.
So why was this messy?
He can do it.
Right, he can do it. And so also like what's sticking to the books where it's like he's in this close quarters situation, right? Where he has this long rifle, which is
so this is the final like scene, and God. There's that group where it's like Hollywood doesn't know guns. In Criticless, there's a group called Hollywood Doesn't Know Guns. And when they talk about this kind of stuff, and that was the first thing that popped in my head. You don't take a long rifle with 2 clips, or maybe about 20
range
plus
fucking scope.
Right.
Also, all of it is heat vision.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes zero sense.
He's indoor
to close quarters, like you said.
Yeah.
A long rifle in close quarters.
And he's pulling that motherfucker up just like, bah, 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 like quick shot.
That was the most annoying part because he literally had to go down, down and up,
exactly.
turn, down. Every single shot was down and up.
I'm just like, what is happening?
And he used a pistol in long range to get into the fucking building. He was like, pistol from across the room. Pistol. Oh, I'm inside a building. Here's my long rifle.
Right.
Like, dude.
He uses the pistol to kill the people at long range in the train,
and then,
which they don't even show.
No.
But then uses the rifle inside the building. I'm so happy that y'all.
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. This movie went. You know how Tropic Thunder says don't go full retard. This movie goes full retard.
Yeah.
Like full fucking retard. And they do the stupidest shit. And you're just like, this doesn't. Why is he doing this? Like
while being serious.
Right.
It's serious when this is happening. You're just like, how am I taking this serious?
And to also kind of build off the fucking M14 that he's using through this whole thing, as if it's some like I don't like they build it up to be a
almost like a legendary gun. Like there's like some kind of lore attached to it.
Exactly.
But we don't know the history.
Right. They don't build that up
in
any way, so we know nothing.
It feels like something was cut.
Right. And this is a gun. It's not like some futuristic high-tech badass gun where even though in the movie he's blowing people back. This is just a semi-automatic
regular ass long
rifle that they used in Vietnam.
Right.
Or even earlier.
So
that has a Bluetooth scope on.
It's just a basic ass gun. An AR-15 is the above of this.
So I have a theory, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this. Okay. I wonder if that gun was used during the Cold War.
against Russians.
against Russians. So this is layers to this.
Okay.
Did you guys see the giant Ukraine flag painted on a building when they were driving down the road?
No.
Oh, it was the whole side of a building while they drove past
Really?
it. And
I
it
didn't
said
even catch it.
Ukraine.
So like some propaganda ass shit.
Then the villain are the most
They're
stereotypical, ridiculous, over the top Russians.
Oh, we're getting conspiratorial here.
We are. I think this was a pro. This is where I think I was trying to say this is some sort of pro-Ukraine, anti-Russian propaganda movie.
Well, I mean, the anti-Russian, 100%.
Obviously that.
Because I mean, this is the most stereotypical movie in all.
Like the Russians, two of the dudes are dressed like fucking clowns in jumpsuits with like the tracksuits with the fucking the fishing hats or whatever they're called. The
bucket hats.
Yeah, bucket hats. Yeah. Like
and they're the complete idiots, and then they're like the mob bosses, and then you have these were like every stereotypical Russian you can think of was in this movie at the most stereotypical they could be.
Yes.
I will also say, because I have to point it out, because I would point this out for any other stereotype. But the very beginning, which you missed most of all, actually, you missed all of this, which I thought they would carry this over more.
Right.
The beginning of this, the intro, like the opening credits, but they did opening credits.
Right.
And then like just the first 5 minutes of this is the most blue collar jerk fest I've ever seen. It's nothing but American flags, like
bullets and screws
instead of bullets, they're doing screws.
Like, it was like Switch.
I'm a fucking.
It was a working man.
Exactly. It's the most like
they're leaning into the pandering of the name and the
and like I know shit. It feels like a weird thing to say. Like I know a lot of blue collar people.
Right.
That's just like the world we live in. Like,
right. We're Southern. So we're the lifestyle in the area that we live in. It's very blue collar.
Right. My dad was a construction worker all of his life. Like,
right.
But they don't care about this shit. Like, so to pander to them, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Some do, but still, it just felt very. I get what you're saying. You're saying it felt like very like American blue collar.
Yeah. But see, that's entirely what you missed because the opening scene is because
there's no more.
They're on a work site. Oh yeah, you're right. But they're on a work site, and it shows that Jason Statham's character is like a team lead, and he's like, "Everybody, let's do our best today. Like we're gonna have a good day. Everybody, like let's all have all of our fingers." You did. You missed like 10 minutes.
You missed a lot, but it had nothing.
So they started this movie fucking earlier than normal. For sure.
No,
I was there 20 minutes. You were 30 minutes. You're out some 30 minutes late.
After we get 30 minutes of trailers now.
It was 20 minutes of trailers this time.
But regardless.
Didn't miss anything.
But it didn't matter to the movie at all.
Right.
None of that.
I mean, did they show? Okay, so question though. Yeah. With me being late, did they show anything about the girl that was kidnapped?
Yes.
In that early.
That's what you missed.
So that was what I was like. I feel there's definitely some context I'm missing here because I don't know how he gives a shit about this girl.
Yeah. So it's basically that he works for this family-owned construction company, and the owner that's the owner's daughter.
Okay.
And it showed them all like hanging out, like jiving on each other and stuff. And the fight scene I was talking about you missed that never got brought up again was some gangsters show up and start roughing up one of the second in command or something like that. And he goes out there and beats them up. And it's like 6 people. Maybe those were Russians. Maybe this was a drug thing, but it was never tied.
They were speaking Spanish. They were 100%.
Yeah, true.
Gangsters.
But Mexican, what's the cartel? They were cartel people 100%. But nothing came of that whatsoever.
Outside of the point of it was to show the owner to know that the owner of his company now knows that he's a badass and he can save his daughter. Nope. I just assumed.
That was the whole thing where she said snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
That was the like inside joke, which is like the fucking
I didn't know what
20-year-old
because
that nobody fucking cares about.
Right.
Yeah, because he beat those cartel members up and told her like don't tell any don't tell your father, and she was like
so he didn't even know.
Well, he knew to an extent that he was a military guy and that he had experience and that he was, I guess, a broken guy when he started working there.
I really wish they would have built on that. That would have added so much to that if they would have added the extra 30 minutes, Blaine, that you're saying that it could have been shorter, if they would have invested that 30 minutes into building the characters and actually making me care about like where he came from and how he lost his wife. Like, okay, start the movie off from him returning from war after his wife commits suicide. And like all the shit he has to go through, and him like finding this construction company,
Yeah.
them taking him in as his family. Like, show me that. Like, don't show me him
to be here at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with this movie, which obviously, like I said, I mean, we have one review. I mean, Terrapin really liked it.
Yeah.
Maybe all three of us are somehow not on the same page that everyone's
Like I
going to
said,
be.
mine's at the lowest of these. It's as close as 50% as you can be, but like our initial conversation with this, it takes it lower because there's so
The more
many
we talk about it, the
objective
less I like it. Even also,
I'm
It's
still
like-
sitting at a bogus, and I'm still sitting
Yeah.
at a high bogus because,
Yeah,
like
it's a
I
high
said before,
bogus.
there were some things, and I would chuckle, and I'd be like, "Oh,
right.
you know, like knee-jerk, quick reaction."
Oh,
and
he
I'd be like,
stabbed
"Huh."
somebody through the throat, or he,
Right.
you know.
it wasn't hard enough.
No, it wasn't.
Maybe that's a reflection of us.
No.
Maybe
Well, maybe
we're
it is.
Yeah.
wrong in this situation.
No, we're not.
Maybe we have seen
Never
too
wrong.
much
Too
hard
much-
shit,
Right.
and we're just immune
Well,
to this.
I mean, we did just recently also review the
Monkey.
no, well, the monkey was fairly violent. No, I was just thinking that like 2 weeks ago we reviewed Dennis Quaid's son's movie, Jack Quaid's movie, with
Novocaine.
Novocaine,
Yeah.
and so Novocaine was hyper violent and leaned into the comedy of it and
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I think about. It's like a movie like that where it leans into the violence, and you're like these moments where you're like, oh shit. And there were moments where this movie was clearly going for that, and you're just like,
Yeah.
She's shit.
yeah.
I couldn't see.
It was so
was
messy,
dark,
fucking dark,
shaky,
like
cam.
shaky cam shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It sucked. Like the action sucked, and I hate to say it. And there's some scenes where it's like, oh, okay, I got a Bluetooth scope on my gun, and I'm gonna like aim it over a wall and shoot behind my
Yeah.
back. And she's like, how did you do that? And you're like, Bluetooth, because I'm fucking cool. And then I close my chest camera, and it's just, these moments were just hammy. Like,
Yeah.
there were so many moments where I felt like you're like, you wanted me to think that was cool, but I just kind of think it's fucking stupid.
And maybe a 18-year-old, since this is a rated R movie, you're not supposed to see it before that,
Right.
would think that's cool. Maybe they'd be like, "Oh, you got scoped."
But
Mhm.
we can also literally compare that to the shit that we got to watch when we were 18.
Yeah.
Where it was actually horror.
Oh, I agree.
In some cases.
I agree.
You know, like we were talking about Crank. Like
Right.
Crank is better than this movie. Like it has a similar feel of like we want to push you into this situation where this dude is like fighting for his life.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's not a direct correlation with these movies.
Yeah, they're not.
But like I'm just saying, as far as Statham movies go in kind of that scope, like I would way rather watch that.
Right.
Like
than this.
Mhm.
It's still cheesy. It's still, but it's also action. And where I feel like they tried to lean too hard on the story in this.
Right. They did.
without investing
Mhm.
enough for it to be worth it.
And not just from Jason Statham, like
Yeah.
it's just like other
No,
folks
like
too,
he
like,
was honestly
he was fine.
better than
He was Jason Statham.
Yeah, I was about to say he
Like,
does.
He
does
just
this
he's
thing.
doing the same thing he always does, but it's like there's a lot of like some of the side villains, and there are just moments where you're clearly they're playing it in a certain way where they want you to have a certain emotion, and instead it just left me like wanting to laugh.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's a moment when the Russian mob boss is like, no, and like he's mad about something because they tell him at the end of the movie, the Russian mob tells him, you can't go after this guy because we're done with this shit and we don't want him to kill anybody. And he's more badass. This one man is more badass than the entirety of the Russian mob. And then this guy's like, no, and it's just so cheesy and hammy. And it's just there are these moments in it that where they were clearly leaning on you, being like, oh man, and I was just like,
I guess it's like they were trying to be like, oh, he's as cool as John Wick or something like that. But it's funny because like John Wick
this dude
does
has
this so much better.
No fucking personality.
Yeah.
And even with John Wick being as dry as he is, he's at least the most badass of badass dudes.
Yeah.
Which is what they want you to think in this movie, but you're just like,
and they show it.
right, they
That's
show
the
it.
important thing. Like they talk this dude up. So
Right.
I'm saying this dude as in
Do we
this
think-
movie.
Do we think that Statham cannot do what they're trying to convince us to do?
I think he can. I have faith in him that he can do it, even though he's never proven it to me. I don't care about him in any way, but I think that he could portray, that badass where we're like, oh shit, like this motherfucker is hard. But I think the movie, which we have nobody to blame but himself because he produced this movie,
Right.
so I think he could do it if he really wanted to, but I think he knows that he can still make a profit doing what he normally does without trying too much. Maybe that's a harsh judgment.
I don't think he can do it.
Yeah,
that's my stance. Is like
that's where I feel,
because he didn't originally start in action movies,
right?
And then he kind of got put into these roles, and I think he's just like, I can do the hard acting.
So interesting is him getting pushed into this lane, and he's like a freaking 5.5 foot tall bald dude.
Yeah,
like what? How does this happen to a person?
He's a good looking
bald dude. I'm not
what do you have against hair? I mean,
listen. Hey,
we'll come back to
it. Mine is working its way backwards, just like yours. We know we're dealing with that. I mean, not yours. I wasn't talking about you. I actually saw it really funny. I almost showed it on our educating boomers segment. There's this TikTok where this guy made this video, and he's basically like, when you get outed, and he's like walking and the wind blows, and he has his hairstyle down, and all of his hair blows up, and like all of his receding hair is like showing, and he's just like, and like everyone sees, and they're like, oh. I'm like, that's how I feel. I'm just like, just cover up that receding hairline, let's just cover it up. It's not, my hair's not receding to anywhere. It's staying right on my
at all.
No, never. My hair will never retreat and never surrender.
Okay, so this movie had so many stereotypes. We already talked about, the bikers, even him, like the most, he's a single dad with a daughter, with a disgruntled in-law. Like it's the most like, let's check every fucking box,
But it's also done so weird. So like
weird. It's
that you did miss this also when in the opening scene he goes to pick up his daughter from his day of work, and all of a sudden it's playing Harry Potter music. And it's an aerial view of just houses, and I'm like, wait, is this some Harry Potter music,
like blue collar circle jerk shit?
Oh, and it was literally Harry Potter music, and then it falls in, and it zooms in on him, and it's a mansion. It's like, and it's that his father-in-law is hosting this huge like magical party to like shit on Jason Statham's poorness.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, why are you having a party? Like, it's my day with my daughter. And he was just like, oh, well, you could leave her here because I've got money. And this is just normally what we do.
Right.
You let my daughter.
Jason Statham's ex-father-in-law, I guess we can call him, wearing his fucking yoga pants that are like galaxy printed yoga pants. I was like, what is happening? Like, what kind of commentary are we making here on this dude? Like, what level of shade are we throwing?
Political leaning. If I were to put it,
this is the right.
Put it on the right.
Oh
This movie is absolutely on the right.
Which makes, I mean, look, I don't give a shit about right, left, center, whatever it is. Like, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, who are you offending right now? Like, it's a doctor that has yoga pants and,
it was
hitting on the worker, man. Like,
Chris, you and your giant butthole, of course you're defending the yoga pants wearing.
I'm just saying, like, who gives a shit?
Not right.
I am the black pill person. I'm the person who does not care about anything.
But speaking of like who this movie is too, and that's literally what they were doing. This is like
to conservative,
this hardcore caters to ex-military, now blue collar guys who don't make jack shit.
Which is okay. This all plays into what I was talking about earlier, which is like, I'm like, all of these guys are real ones. We're talking about Stallone. We're talking about Ayer. We're talking about all these guys. All of them are, when I say real ones, what I mean is more conservative people in Hollywood, which is a group of people that I back just because of the simple fact that Hollywood has gone so fucking left that it's obnoxious and it's bludgeoning us. But I will say there's a reason why Criticless has a political bias meter and not a woke-o-meter or whatever dumb shit. It's because if things lean too right, they're also going to be lame as shit.
And this is also that, for me, like, especially like you missed the vast majority. They didn't lean into it so hard that they didn't that they portrayed it through the entire movie. It was literally like the first 15 minutes of the movie were just like
America.
hardcore.
Blue collar.
It was nothing
You
but
work
like
man.
bullets, screws, American
Oh yeah,
flag,
yeah.
constantly, and it was just like egregious.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, and they were very much like, you got to understand, the working man and the military man are
Yeah.
the same, and we're trying to like, this movie's about both of those things, because that's really what they were trying to do with that opening, like,
and they are
3
doing
minutes.
which I hate, honestly, because like I think we need more of that type of thing in Hollywood. I think we do need to make more movies for just the regular person. It's why I went to bat for The Electric State, which is that like it is the type of movie that regular ass people, not that it was a super conservative film or anything, but it was just the type of film that regular people, there was no agenda, there's no politics, whatever.
Right.
The problem is, like I said, is we don't necessarily need to lean so hard right either. It can just be like, look, like here are some just normal regular ideals that are maybe more geared towards a conservative minded person, right?
Yeah.
And or even not even conservative, but just like a person who's tired of the full-blown work identity or the left-wing identitarian shit. The people that are tired of that, make some films for those people. And that's what this is. But the problem is they still went too hard, and then on top of all of that, it's not a fucking good movie.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Even taking out like that, it's just not a good movie.
Right.
It's not enjoyable. There's just so much that's happening that is disjointed and just doesn't connect. Like, so for example, after the girl bites the guy's cheek off,
Yeah.
She was fucking obnoxious. Can I just say, like, she got on my nerves. Like,
which one? The
Yeah.
girl
the
that
girl
with the
that
cheek
got
off, or the
kidnapped, that she was just like too badass.
well? And so the way they explained that was early on. She was like, what you missed was that her dad, her uncle, her grandpa was a Green Beret and showed her how to break fingers.
Okay.
And so this is how they write it off
explained
early.
it because that was
Yeah,
the stuff
right.
I
It's
missed.
still bad.
It's still bad though.
She's like, she just tries to be like a badass, and she's like, "Oh, y'all are gonna like take me into this weird sex trade thing, and like fuck you guys. I don't even care. Y'all can rape me." Like it's just it's really weird. It's a fucking weird way to play this character, and like she showed no level of fear in being abducted,
Right.
and like it almost undercut the trafficking aspect because she was just like, I don't give a fuck, y'all can freaking kidnap me, y'all can freaking do all kinds of weird shit to me, and I'm just like, what?
There was like no
on?
fear.
Yeah.
Anytime they showed her,
Yeah.
it was just her being sort of defiant.
Yeah.
But even then, like they should have like beat her or something a little. I mean, I know they didn't want to like hurt her because they wanted to like traffic her. But even then, so like there was like, so she bites the dude's cheek, and then we go like days, and I was like, oh, she's fucking dead.
Yeah.
They have no reason to keep her.
Right.
Oh, they got an order
They
from the mafia.
literally
It literally is to call away, like, hey, kill her. Okay, blat. Like, no, they keep her alive randomly, and then they eventually get a call right when they're about to do it, saying, oh, by the way, I want her back at the farm, which was not somewhere millionaires are going to hang out.
It's
the fuck?
Most like stereotype. Like this is what I'm talking about with like stereotypes of like, it's the idea. This sounds really mean, but like of somebody who has no clue about anything. This is what they would say of like, okay, we want to talk about badasses. All right, this is what badasses do. They have an M14 from fucking 1956 with a hologram scope on it, whatever. And rich people. It's this guy who looks like a magician, and he wants to spin a.
There is a guy, the lead creep, connected to the entire trafficking ordeal.
That's all
he thinks that he is the Penguin. And he's just a magician, but like some kind of weird, mentally handicapped, like millionaire. I don't even fucking understand what's
the most
stereotypical everything.
Idea
this
of
movie
what
is
rich
like
people do.
Yes,
but I'm telling you, I think that's because this is aimed at let's just call him uninformed working man, and I think that's literally what they're trying to be. They're trying to be like, this person we're aiming this at doesn't know anything about anything, and they're gonna think this is how people are.
Insulting like the blue collar.
It is.
Jared, do not take offense to us saying all this. You gave it an 80%. And we know that you're a blue collar worker. I was my entire life. We are not throwing shade, but like this movie I'm saying is pandering as shit. Like
pandering.
Yeah, it is.
For you,
I am. Yeah,
because it's just plays into all of the stereotypes of like, oh yeah, love the American flag, we love screws. rich people. You know what do they do? They probably hang out in an abandoned barn. They have like weird dance parties with Asian people. And, yeah, like that's what rich people do, and they're
Right.
the enemy. It's
Right.
just it's so pandering. Like I can't think of a better word to use for it, but it's just like it's not reality and what actual like evil looks like. It's just like portrayed evil of like.
Well, they don't even like portray them that evilly. You know, there's ways they can
Right, it's
step
like
it up
amplified.
even
It's what they're
more.
doing.
Right. Well, even with the whole kidnapping and all that, they were just like, I'll put the gun in your face. Ah, yeah, princess. And I was just like, what? This isn't like.
It's so cheesy. What we almost need to stop talking about this movie because my opinion just keeps going lower. This movie's fucking stupid. Like it's not.
You can't think about it too much.
No,
It's
you
what
really
it
can't.
comes
You got to
down
turn your brain 1000% off. Like
I have to mention though
yeah.
the absurdity. Okay, the moon.
Yeah,
was-
right.
what-
We've already
what-
talked
what-
about it.
what
Yeah.
we've already talked about.
Yeah.
The other thing was him hiding a fucking full-size
Bro.
king cab truck
In the bushes.
by putting a stick over his window, and he's like got his telescope out, and he's like, I'm hidden in the
Yep.
woods 3 fucking feet from the parking lot, and he's like, nobody can see
And
me.
then he
I'm
walks
hidden."
out of the fucking bushes when everybody shows up. This movie is so dumb.
This was so fucking
This
dumb.
is the dumbest fucking movie.
That part was the
Oh, yeah, wait, finish what you're saying, though, because it gets dumber.
Yeah, basically, there is like Chris said, he is hiding at a bar, the place where all of the metal music listening metalheads hang out, but also, and they show it from like his perspective, and there's like 5 branches hanging over the side of his truck, and they're hanging over, and he's like looking at it, he's spying on people, and then like the people inside the building have also they also have infrared vision, and they see him hiding in the bushes, and then they send in their squad of people after him, and the camera is aimed on him, and they show him like pop out of the bushes, and he's literally hiding from these dudes 5 fucking feet away. Also, what they show him coming out of is not what they show him hiding in inside of the car. He's not hiding in that level of brush. Like
it's literally 5 sticks.
It's
And
Okay, see, I remember the bush, and I was like, okay, he's hidden behind a bush.
No.
So I don't remember his 5 sticks.
fucking
Oh, no, I know.
yes.
I don't think he was trying to hide his truck. I think he was just trying to hide that he was in his truck
spying. Okay.
and spying, I think.
And-
That's how I took it anyways.
But then we skip forward 5 seconds to them realizing him there.
Oh, yeah.
And they send the goons after him.
Yep.
And then he
And
hops
all
on
he
a
does-
fucking motorcycle.
He steps
You
out.
do
he
leave your keys in
opens
the
the
motorcycle.
door, which is 3 feet from a motorcycle, knocks the dude off and steals the motorcycle. And the people that are looking for him don't realize any
Yep.
of this is happening. They're like, where are we?
Well, to be fair, it was also the Russian idiots that were dressed in their
This just gets
stupid
worse.
outfits.
Yeah, this movie
Well,
was
that does
absolutely, like Matt said, this is pro-Ukraine propaganda.
I am almost 100% positive that this is trying to like virtue signal to the working man and ex-military people that they need to
Trying to
be
get them on
pro-Ukraine.
board with
I
the
really
Ukraine.
think that's what this was going
Wouldn't
for.
surprise me.
I mean,
didn't.
Russians have been the bad guys since the fucking
Right.
Time.
Well, that's why I wasn't even going to almost bring it up because they've since the Cold War they've always been the villain in all of our stuff. But with the Ukraine flag and all that stuff, I was like, this feels,
So that's,
dude.
that's
I don't know how y'all missed it. It was huge and on the side of a building.
I feel
Maybe
like
it was just
might have
there.
happened early before I got there.
No, you were there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, listen, this movie's goofy as shit. Like I said, if you're fucking smoking a doobie, hanging out at home, or like throwing back some drinks and you're
No.
bored,
Go watch the Beekeeper.
don't watch this. Watch Crank. Um,
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
fucking Crank. This movie's not good.
transporter.
Watch The Transporter one.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. Watch plenty of other Statham movies, not this one.
I would almost recommend watching fucking Fast and Furious.
Almost.
Some of them. I mean, most of them.
I love.
I think
most
that
of
this
it.
is better than most of the Fast and Furious.
You
No, what?
No way.
Get out of your dirty hole,
Get
man.
out of here.
The majority.
Heresy.
of-
No. Like
Heresy.
Yeah, there's been
6 or 7 of them are good. Out of the 9 or 10.
I would say so.
That is-
I agree with Matt.
No, you're wrong.
Now,
This is coming from a person who doesn't like Pacific Rim. He cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
sure. Also, I haven't watched.
I thought you said you haven't seen Pacific Rim.
I've seen the
Right.
first, second, and Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift
no,
is
wait.
great.
Tokyo Drift is great. The first
Great. First Fast and
and
Furious, great.
Tokyo Drift, great.
Great. Second Fast and Furious, quite handy.
Still fun though.
Still
It's still can be fun.
Anything after that, terrible.
So
What
have you
did
seen them?
what
Have you
did
seen
watch?
them though?
We watched the one where
We watched 10 and it was terrible.
That 10 is bad.
Yeah.
We watched 9 and 10. Those
Has
9,
are bad.
10, and like 5.
No. So there were ones before that when James Wan first showed up, and like some of those people around like 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah.
Those were good. Those
They
were
were.
actually really good. Minus The Rock. The Rock's fucking ass.
He's
Like,
fine in it, but he's
like,
fine in it
He's
though.
fine. He's The Rock.
Especially when he's
playing
the,
The
like
Rock.
the bad guy, good guy.
Yeah, The Rock playing The Rock. But either way, this movie, don't go see it in theaters. I'm sorry, I can't
Yeah,
support it.
no.
Yeah, we'll see what everybody else says, but as far as this podcast goes, we're unanimous. At the very least, it's like the lowest of decence or a bogus. Not actively hating, but you can go see it at your own risk, I guess is the best way to put it.
Expectation
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and-
maybe if you had no expectations, you might be able to enjoy it.
I do want to say, I don't know if he's still in here. Jeremy Allen hopped in. We never catch Jeremy on stream. We talk about I Miss Good Movies all the time. That is Jeremy. He's in the chat. We pulled up some of his things. He gave some opinions about Electric State. Fuck off, Jeremy. You're wrong. And you're a nerd. So,
love you.
but we still love you. And last call with Troy Perselli. He constantly shouts our stuff out. What's up, buddy? Thanks for hopping in the chat. Thanks for giving us a shout out. I've been putting up your comment. And yes, everyone, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Do that stuff if you are in here watching, because it helps us a whole bunch. The people viewing has been going up since we've been talking. So definitely make sure if you're in here to do that, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a bunch. We are reviewing all of the newest stuff that's coming out, whether it be shows or movies. We talk about all of that on either this show or I will do it on the weekly stream, and then we cover news too. So make sure to follow this channel, and just we're really close to I think like 700 or so now.
Yeah, we're right around the 700.
I want to hit 1,000. But it's very clear that no matter how many massive shows that I show up on, it is still really hard to get that many subs.
Yeah.
Like unless YouTube's algorithm just like fully just gets behind you and pushes you to the moon. And we have yet to have that happen. Yeah, they have yet to, YouTube's algorithm has yet to fist us. So that has happened, but we did have we've got more people hopping in here. There's Network has come in and said, hey, what's up, homie? But yeah, thanks for hopping in. I know we get a lot of people from Bro Science that pop in and out, and with me showing up on that, and then also from Monday Hangover as well. So if you catch me on those shows, definitely hit that subscribe and follow our stuff, just because it helps us. And we appreciate everybody in the chat. Caveat Ties always comes and hangs out, shows up. Thanks, buddy. And same for my wife, obviously, and Mass as well. And then we've got the usuals like Planet X and Doyle. All you guys have been in here in the chat. Thank you for showing up. And I hope that we could give you guys some insight into this movie. This was a fun one to talk about. Honestly, I had more fun talking about this movie than I had watching it. Like
yeah, for real, because
yeah, there was a lot more fun talking about this movie than actually watching it, for sure. It was just it's a mid movie, watch it at home. You'll probably have fun. And like I said, it is pandery. So if you're okay with like being kind of pandered to, and you're like really absorbing that blue collar stuff, like jump in, watch this, dig it.
You're blue collar, and you want your dick sucked. This is where it's gonna
this
happen.
is the movie that's gonna
Watch
do
the
it.
first 15 minutes of this.
Which is funny, because my wife was talking about earlier, where it's like I am, and you guys know, I'm blue collar at my core. It's like I was in automotive, I was in freaking construction, I was in, you name the blue collar industry, I've done it. I was in trucking, all of it. But even this stuff like this, it just like, for me personally, it doesn't resonate, because I see it. I'm like, I see you guys pandering to my proclivities. So there was just more of that, and it's a bummer. But I do wish this was better, especially with everyone attached to this movie. But it is what it is. So what we do at the end of our show, though, is that we do send-off songs.
Yeah.
If you are not familiar, we have a send-off song playlist. I have no idea if we've been updating it. Have we?
Yeah, I updated it.
Okay, so Matt's been updating it. He's the man. Proud of you, Matt. Thank you. Good job. We also have said that if you super chat a song, we will add it to our official playlist. So that will go on there.
Yeah, we added Caveat Ties last week.
Yeah, we did. We added Caveat Ties song last week. It was real weird and like some opera shit or something. I don't know. But yeah, so what have you guys been listening to? What kind of music? What's going on in y'all's life here? What have you been listening
I'll
to?
start.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
I've been all over the place, but I'll just go with something I've been listening to a lot recently. Not as slowed down on it some because I've listened to it too much. But it's a country song called "I Remember Everything" by Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves.
Okay.
It's country.
It's good. It's a good song.
It's a good song,
Yeah.
and it's like I normally don't do country,
And
but
Zach Bryan is a giant douche.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like any of his other music. Like, it's literally just
he's got a good voice. He does.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't like his songs. Like I don't like country normally, but there's just something about the song that I'm just like I like it. I like the way it sounds. There's just I don't know why it draws me in. I can't put my finger on it. It's like a love song. It's like, oh, we met in high school, we loved each other, and I remember how we used to be, and we're not that way anymore.
Right. And what was the name of the song again?
I Remember Everything.
Yeah, by
Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves.
Yeah,
Yep.
which are both talented people.
Yeah.
Even though he's a douche.
No.
So Chris, what kind of weird indie shit that no one's ever heard of have you been listening to lately?
All right. So we've all
Of the dick sucking butt whistlers. Everyone listens to them.
It's a new metal band.
Scuba Dubers, right?
Yeah,
we
the
all
old
know
Scuba Dubers.
Obviously.
Right?
Obviously. Only nerds don't.
This is Scoochie Boochie.
You're just making this shit up.
It's an older song. It, for whatever reason, randomly showed up on my YouTube algorithm. It's like 4 years old. But it's called Have Sex or I Have Sex. And
so this is like the anti-theme song for you.
yeah, yeah, literally.
I don't.
He talks about having a 35-inch penis, which is just talk about the detriment.
That doesn't sound good for anyone involved.
Jeans don't fit. Seam
No.
split.
It's dragging.
This seems like this song was written by like one of those people that writes the fantasy novels.
Yeah.
It's
The sex fantasy novels.
fantastic. And there are some
So she's a
lines. Never for me, but there are some lines of the song that I love.
So what's it? The name of the song is "I Have Sex."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Have sex.
Have
I
sex,
only wrote down
just-
have sex, but I
Okay.
think it might be I have sex, but I think it could,
Okay.
It I don't know, but it's Scoochie Boochie.
It's really
Have
called
sex.
Scoochie
Scoochie
Boochie.
Boochie is
How
the
do you
artist.
spell this?
SCHOOCHIEE.
Okay.
Scoochie, obviously.
It's kind of like Snoochie Boochies, which is what Jay and Silent Bob used
yeah.
to say.
If you
Snoochie
want to be
Boochies.
a racist about
what?
scooches and want to name them snooches.
Yeah, so it is called "I Have Sex."
Okay,
is
I
the name of
just
the song.
missed the I in my
Yeah.
notes here. But it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It's you want to woo a woman, put this on right before you're about to go down on
Yeah.
So this
The
is a
Clam
sexy
Slam.
time song.
Oh,
The Clam Slam. Yeah.
yeah.
As one calls it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody calls it that.
Everybody.
But it's fucking fantastic. It's
Okay.
There's quotes. I want y'all to listen to it after
Okay.
this because I know you won't
Yeah.
listen to it. Otherwise,
Let's
because
listen to
it's hilarious.
We'll play it in the room.
Playlist.
We'll
What do
play
you
it in the
mean?
room.
Well,
It's okay. There's one line that I will forever say is gee whiz, Jiminy clitoris. It's just chef's
Wow.
kiss,
That is good
right?
stuff.
We have done very different kinds of songs.
So this is a lot of innuendo in this.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing but
I like
sex, and it's great. Put it on for your
Nice.
lady, and she'll love it.
Okay.
Okay.
I Have Sex by Snoochie Boochie.
Yeah.
Okay, so the song I'm going to recommend, I'm actually going full Matt,
You
and
do it.
I am recommending a song by Sleep Token.
Oh, okay.
This is one of those bands that they like wear get-ups where they look like they're from the pits of hell.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Slipknot and all
Slipknot-y
that stuff.
type of thing.
Yeah.
The dude literally like douses himself in like some kind of black paint. Whereas I think he's a white guy, but
I think so.
he's you know, some might call that blackface. But
Every white guy wants to be black.
yep, and I get yeah. I mean, somebody. Yeah. But yeah, so this is by Sleep Token. It's a song called Emergence, and this song has blown up. It actually beat a lot of the pop artists on the charts, which is kind of why I wanted to recommend it, because it's more, these guys they do the whole outfits, all that stuff. They're more of a metal leaning band, but this song isn't. Actually, this song reminds me a lot of Thrice. If you were a fan of Thrice back in the day, I was recommending this actually for Chris because I wanted him to hear the song. It's Emergence by Sleep Token. It is very Thricey. This dude has an excellent singing voice, which it happens to be the case for a lot of these metal artists.
Yeah.
And
It's a new track.
this song is really good. And have you heard it, Matt? Have you heard this one?
I'm trying to remember if I've heard it.
new.
I don't
It's brand new.
technically like really like Sleep Token that much,
Interesting.
but I haven't sat down like try to find songs of theirs that I like. But every time they come on my playlist, I'm just like,
You will like this one. The song is quite long. This is like a 5-6 minute long song.
Oh, okay.
It has a lot of like motions to it as far as like different stages as far as the song goes, and it pivots to sounding different. And it goes in and out of being metal and more singing, kind of like how Thrice used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
And so they're in the more screamy stuff, but then also into the more like very pretty singing voice. So yeah, I would say check it out if you like that genre and that type of music. It's a good song. So Sleep Token, Emergence, good song.
Cool.
So we've all given our send-off songs for this week, guys.
And then next week, Minecraft.
Next week is Minecraft. Chris, are you gonna watch Minecraft with us? It's the question of the day.
What do you mean watch Minecraft?
The movie
Minecraft.
There's a Minecraft.
Oh, don't tell anything else.
As Minecraft Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, it's live action.
I won't tell you anyone else that's in it.
Yeah.
But I'll just
we're going
leave it at
mildly
that.
surprised.
Yeah, sure.
So I think I'm actually gonna get the kids are gonna go see it with us.
Okay.
So we can get a kid's perspective on it when you watch it. So we will be reviewing Minecraft next week. It's gonna be interesting. I'm curious to see. The trailer did not get the best of praise because of how weird this movie looks.
I mean, it's Minecraft. It's really whatever you want it to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
so I'm really curious. None of us are like Minecraft stands, so it's like
I mean,
whatever. Minecraft is whatever you want. Minecraft.
It's gonna be a quandary of, is this actually a good movie, or is this a pleasure fest for Minecrafters?
So that will be the interesting. My kids are hardcore Minecraft people, so it is going to be interesting because we will get a hardcore Minecraft kid on top of a kid's perspective, along with ours. So I think this will actually be a fun review and a fun perspective of us as this like airplane view of it, with us not being Minecraft people. And
well,
so
you say that we're not Minecraft people, but
Chris is.
Did buy this for $20.
Yes.
Whenever it was just
agreed. I did the same thing.
Like,
But did you play it endlessly for thousands of hours?
Yes.
I played it quite a bit as well, not with other people, only by myself.
This is when it was just a website you would go to. You paid $20 to.
And you played it on like survival mode. You didn't play it on like fucking God mode.
There was
you just like
nothing. It was just building blocks.
It was a piece of shit.
Yeah. It was super like at the very before Microsoft.
I didn't get it quite that early, but I got it before Microsoft bought it and played it like early on. And so yes, it was doo-doo. Didn't look great, but it was fun. It was fun.
Loved it
because you're crafting and you're just like you're surviving. Well, and this was the start of the survival genre of video games, really. Like it kind of kickstarted that. Now I really like survival games. Actually, I'll get sucked in for a short period of time, play the shit out of them, and then never touch them again. That's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
Once you break that point of survival of like
I'm surviving and I'm building.
It loses all.
Right, and then they're like, there's a plot here, and you're like, I don't know that I care. I'm gonna play something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I played one where you're surrounded on a desert island. But yeah, everybody that's leaving the chat later, Sin's Corner, everybody else that's hopping out, take it easy. Thanks for jumping in, everybody. We'll be reviewing Minecraft next week. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. This has been a fun episode. Thanks for joining us. And we will do this again next week. Everybody take it easy. Later,
everybody.
Aloha.